people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I'm in the world, but not of it. I praise God every day and I love it. I say what I want and I say what they want. I stand for the truth and what's right and they don't. Life is simple, it's no puzzle. Common sense will tell you not to wear a muzzle. Fear no evil, trust no people. When in doubt, shout, I'm a believer. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me. I fear no man, though the world is broken. God, shine your light on me.
I offend everybody, the left, right, in the middle. Blame my parents because I've been this way since I was little. It used to be normal, now everybody praying to crystals. No wonder why it's so easy for the devil to trick you. They treat you like dogs, putting muzzles all on your faces, forcing kids to wear them in schools. Doesn't this seem outrageous? They ban Bible scriptures on TikTok.
Let's go to Target! Let's go to Target! We need some PlayStations! Let's go to Target! Let's go to Target! We need some PlayStations! I cracked myself up. What up? We live? Are we live? Are we? Oh, did I just hit end stream? No, I didn't. Okay, cool. We're good. Welcome. Welcome. Put that Siggy out. How's everybody doing today? It's a solemn day. Solemn day. It's a solemn day. The Dreads are leaving tonight. You know what? I should have this down just so we can see them. Not yet. Not yet. Not till the after party. So you got to wait. You got to be up late. You got to be on the late night show. You got to be on the late night show to see that. But I'm going to record it. I'm going to record it, and then I'm going to have to leave the stream after I cut them to go wash my hair and comb out all the knots. Put the detangler in there and comb it out. I'll wash it. I'll leave the stream for a minute. I'll have the Discord open. Whoever's in the Discord can entertain the chat while I go wash my hair after I cut them off. And then, I pulled my headphone out. And then I'll spray the detangler in there, and then I'll come in here and comb out the knots. It's going to look wild. It's going to look wild at first because I'm just going to cut them out. It's going to be all different lengths, and there's going to be short parts and long parts, and it's going to look weird tonight. But then tomorrow, I'll stream all night like I usually do on Mondays. But tomorrow morning, I got to go to a barbershop, and I got to get it cut right. You're going to miss them? Me too. But you know what? I've been saying I was going to do it for like 2 years. And I'll never do it if I don't do it. I'll never cut them if I don't cut them. And what? I don't want them going down to the back of my knees. Like, how long do I want them? At the Orthodox church that I went to this week, they have, well, I don't want to get too deep into it. But we're going to have to look up this what they call an icon. They have icons all over the walls and all on the floor and stuff, and on the ceilings and everywhere. The icons are pictures of saints. And one of the saints I've never heard of was Saint Oniphorus. I don't know how you say his name, but he's like, in the picture, he's wearing leaves in his groin area, but he's like naked. And he's real skinny, and he's got a beard that hangs down to the floor. And I was like, who's that guy? I want to learn about that guy. Did you write a goodbye speech? No. But yeah, he had a beard down to the floor. The point is, What do I want the dreads to be down to the floor? I got to cut them eventually. And I've been saying I was going to do it for like 2 years. And the only way that I'm going to commit and go through with it is if I tell everybody I'm doing it. Because then I got to. I can't say if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. You know? If you say you're going to do something, you do it. Onufrius. Yes, that's it. You know anything about that guy, Thomas? We'll look him up. I'll Google it. I'll Google it after. That guy looked cool. I was like, who's that guy? He was the most unique looking of all of them. But all right. We got a show tonight. Lots of news this week. I'm gonna try to kind of rush through all the news this week. And I didn't even get all the stuff I wanted to talk about. We still not talked about the dang Venezuelan apartment takeovers, which has been a thing for weeks now, and I haven't covered it. I keep forgetting to. And then I forgot to put it into the show plan for tonight. So we'll look into that in the after party. I've seen a lot about it, but I haven't looked a lot into it. So we'll look into that in the after party. But the show plan for tonight, we got Russian influencers. Is it true? Or is it the same thing that all the influencers do, maybe with a different nation that starts with an I and ends with a Surreal? I think they all do it, but we'll get into that. The Russian influence on right-wing pundits. We got the Georgia event. We're still in the first 5 minutes of the stream, so I'm not going to say the S word yet. And then there was also another Kentucky one. We'll talk about that in rapid fire. The Kentucky ooting Shay. And the Trump town hall, which I did not watch. Maybe we'll watch it in the after party in its entirety, but in the show tonight, we'll look at the highlights from it. We'll look at some clips from the news media. And we're going to talk about the SAVE Act. I've been hearing a lot about this SAVE Act and why Democrats are liars and hypocrites. They say they want safe and fair elections, but they don't support the SAVE Act. Isn't that interesting? Remember, 4 years ago, they wanted you to be able to vote by mail without voter ID. Now, we try to put in an election integrity initiative, and they vote against it, or they don't like it. They don't like it. We'll talk about that, the SAVE Act. We're not going to talk too much about it in the main show tonight, but in the after party, we will talk about the debate tomorrow, what we think is going to happen. Debate tomorrow, we're going to be live streaming, reacting to that. I'm happy that it's happening on a Tuesday night because that's my streaming night anyway. So the debate, rapid fire news. We got a lot of strange deaths. It's been a while since we covered strange deaths. Young people just dropping dead. Just dropping dead. Talk about that. It's been a while since we used to do these every week. We used to go through all the strange young people just dropping dead, on football fields and soccer fields, and dad jokes activate. What up, B-Wise? In other news, my obese parrot has passed away. I'll miss him, but it's a huge weight off my shoulder. Oh, shut up. You're so dumb. Bro, the funniest one was I made a post that said I went to an Orthodox church for the first time. Stubborn one said, don't give them any of your personal information because nobody wants to be orthodoxed. That's awesome. Last segment, I'll talk about what I thought of my trip to the Divine Liturgy at the St. Peter and St. Paul Orthodox Church of Salt Lake City, an Antiochian Orthodox church. What I thought, what I liked, A lot of things I liked. Some things I don't know if I would say dislike, but it was very different than any other church I've ever been to. Uh, Never been to an Orthodox service before. I've been to Catholic services, but it was different, even way different than even the Catholic services that I've been to. What I liked, what I didn't really like, but maybe it'll grow on me, or it was just different than what I'm used to, and that's the plan. That's the plan tonight. I need my soundboard. I don't have my soundboard open. Give me one moment. Hopefully it doesn't give me problems. Sometimes it gives me problems. My soundboard. Going to be a great show. Like always, you have the best topics. Well, thank you, Amanda. The world's a crazy place. I'm just reporting on it. All right, let's check this soundboard out. Let's see if it sounds good.
Beta!
There we go. All right, let's get this show on the road. All right, where are my articles? Pull up the articles. All right. We're going to try to get through this fast. The earlier we get through this show, the faster we get into the after party. So let's start it off. Get a sip of my coffee. I'm out of creamer. I don't like coffee with sugar in it unless it has creamer in it. You feel me, Doubt? You feel me, Doubt? What I'm saying is, it's either you got some creamer and you got some sugar, but if you don't have creamer, I just drink it black. I don't put sugar in black coffee, but I'll put sugar in beige coffee. Creamy. Beige. Creamy beige. But I do like my coffee like I like my women. Strong and black. Strong and black. Okay. JLP. What's JLP? I don't get it. All right. Let's start this off. These Russian influencers. What's going down? What's happening with Tenet Media, RT, Lauren Chin, Tim Pool, who else? Who was all involved in this? Dave Rubin, Benny Johnson, Russell Brand. Lots of right-wing social media figures. Right-wing. Far right. I don't even think Tim Pool is right-wing. I don't even think Russell Brand is right-wing. Russell Brand is a dang socialist. He converted to Christianity recently, but he's not no far-right influencer. Benny Johnson, I know a lot of people like Benny Johnson. I think he's kind of lame, personally. And Dave Rubin, he's gay. He was a liberal like a couple years ago. He's not a far-right influencer, but that's what they're saying. RT is the Russian Times. We've done reports from Russian Times before I knew that you're not allowed to, because my streams were blocked worldwide whenever I did a story from RT. And I didn't even know that I could have been getting paid for that. Like, where's my 10 mil? Can I get 10 mil RT? I got streams taken down way before Lauren Chin. Way before Lauren Chin was getting paid 10 milli from Russia. I was talking about RT getting banned. I need my milli. But Russian media, let's get into this. We're going to read from Variety first. U.S. officials allege Russian operatives illegally provided $10 million to fund videos by American right-wing social media stars. Tennessee-based Tenet Media was identified as the target of the RT scheme, according to media reports. Tenet Media is Lauren Chin and her husband's media network. I like Lauren Chin. She's fine. I'm sad she's married. A state-controlled Russian media outlet provided nearly $10 million to covertly finance and direct videos produced by Tennessee-based online content company, the Justice Department alleged, identified by media reports as a U.S. right-wing social media network, Tenet Media. A federal indictment unsealed Wednesday charged 2 employees of RT, formerly known as Russia Today, of using fake personas and shell companies to carry out a secret influence campaign in the United States. The duo operated under covert identities at an American company identified in court documents as U.S. Company One. CNN and other media outlets said they confirmed that the company in question is Tenet Media, whose affiliate personalities include Benny Johnson and his Culture War podcast, host Tim Pool, both of whom have millions of followers on YouTube and other platforms. According to the DOJ, the 2 RT employees falsified their identities and posted and directed the posting by U.S. Company One of hundreds of videos. Well, if they were using alternate identities, how are the people supposed to know? It's not the first time a spy has infiltrated America. We'll talk about that later. We talked about it last week in the after party. We'll talk about it again today. The Chinese spy. China. They're sending spies to New York. Katie Hochul. Kathy. What is it? Kathy or Katie? Kathy Hochul? I'm not good with names. I'm not a woman. Kathy Hochul. You know, they had a Chinese spy over there in New York. Posted and directed the posting by U.S. Company One of hundreds of videos on multiple services, including TikTok, Instagram, X, and YouTube. Since publicly launching in or about November 2023, U.S. Company One has posted nearly 2,000 videos that have garnered more than 16 million views on YouTube alone, per federal authorities. And what is this? What's the problem? What's the problem? Don't we have free speech in America? I know it's YouTube private company. If they say we don't want Russian news on our site, then they can take it down. But X is supposed to be a free speech place. Like, what's the problem with these people getting paid by Russia to talk about Russia? Maybe they really like Russia. Maybe they're Russian. Maybe they want to talk about Russia. We can't report on Russian news in America. What kind of BS is this? Sounds a little fascist to me. If we're not allowed to, if we're not allowed to talk about certain things in the media, we're not allowed to report on world events on Russia, even if it is propaganda, even if it is a total lie. Why can't we report on lies? I guess if you're a news network, like, see, I put I tag my streams as entertainment because I realized that if I tag this stream as news and politics, even if I'm just reporting on the news, I'm not a journalist. I'm just a pundit. I'm just a commentator, an analyst. I just look at it and talk about it. I'm not the one boots on the ground going out getting the stories. I'm reporting on their stories. But if I put my thing as news and politics, since I'm not a verified news provider, they don't consider it valid. They don't push it. It will kind of screw you over. So I have to do it as entertainment. Yeah, you get shadow banned. I think I'm already shadow banned, but yeah, what's the deal with that? Why can't anybody? We're all press. First Amendment. We all have freedom of the press. Anybody tells you need a press pass to go somewhere, just get a freaking crayon and an index card and write press pass, and then just show them that. Or you could just hand them the First Amendment. There's my press pass. We are all the press. And we can all report on any news that we feel like reporting on. Why is this a problem? Not to mention how many people get paid from another country that we all know about to report on their media and their biased, one-sided reporting. Jake Shields on X posted a picture of a bunch of police officer, like prison guards, holding dogs on chains with guns in their hands, and a bunch of people laying on a floor. He said, "This is an Israeli." I don't even want to say this on YouTube. This is an small hat country jail where they grape Palestinian prisoners. This is an Israeli grape prison for Palestinians. And I said, I call BS on this. And then I go to the comments, everybody's calling BS on it. And Jake Shields defends himself and says, it's being reported on by the Israeli Times. The Israeli Times? So Russia Times, that's not a valid news source, but Israeli Times, that's perfectly valid. Palestinian grape prisons, where they're just graping all the male prison guards are all gay, and they're all just graping all these Palestinian men. You know? The only thing worse than a sandy bajayjay is a sandy booty hole. That was horrible. I just came up with that. Oh, man. Let's keep reading. Many of the videos posted by U.S. Company One contain commentary on events and issues in the U.S., such as immigration, inflation, and other topics related to domestic and foreign policy, the DOJ said. While the views expressed in the videos are not uniform, most are directed to the publicly stated goals of the government of Russia and RT to amplify domestic divisions in the United States. This seems like BS. This all seems like BS to me. Tenet Media did not respond to a request for comment submitted through its website. In a post on X Wednesday, Johnson said a year ago, a media startup pitched my company to provide content as an independent contractor. Our lawyers negotiated a standard arm's length deal, which was later terminated. We are disturbed by the allegations in today's indictment, which make clear that myself and other influencers were victims in this alleged scheme. My lawyers will handle anyone who states or suggests otherwise. Here's where the conspiracy comes in. And I didn't even think about this when I first heard this story, but I was listening to Glenn's show the other night, and he said this. And I was like, oh, dang, that makes perfect sense. That totally makes sense. So the idea is, just like when President Trump ran in 2016, we got told, Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 all the Russia stuff. We get told all the Russia stuff, right? When Trump's running for president. Then for 4 years afterwards, we see impeachments. We see the, not the Durham report, but was it the Durham report? What was the other one? The Russian idea that Russia was meddling in our elections. So they did that for 4 years. It didn't work out. It failed. Their plan failed. And now he's running again. And they're doing the same thing again. Except instead of going after Trump, what they're going to do is they're going to stifle his reach by attacking any large influencers who support him. So, since they can't get Trump with the Russia crap, what they do is, and they started a war with Russia, by the way. I know you'll say, well, some liberals will be like, well, Ukraine started the war with Russia. Started the war with Ukraine. Bullshit. America started the war with Ukraine. All NATO and all the people that installed the actor Zelensky, the puppet Zelensky, into office in Ukraine, they started the war with Russia. And now Trump's running for president again. They can't get him with the Russia, Russia, Russia. So what do? They do the same attack on all of the large influencers who are supporting Trump. This makes, even if they can't shut them down, it makes them look bad. It makes the left can say, oh, look, we told you so. They're all Russian puppets. They're all Russian bots. Russian bots, Russian bots. I'm so sick of hearing about Russian bots. You know how many times I've been called a Russian bot on the internet by losers on the internet who hide behind anonymity? I'm like, bro, you think I'm a bot? I have a channel. My face is on the internet. People know where I live. Antifa knows where I live. They ain't coming up though. They ain't stepping up though. Where they at? I wish somebody would dox me. I need a friend. I want to make some friends. I'd love if some little Antifa punk showed up at my front door. Please do. Tenet Media describes itself as a network of heterodox. One hetero meaning one, dox meaning, I don't know. Orthodox, dox. What does dox mean? Heterodox. Ideas. I think dox probably has to do with ideas. One idea. Heterodox. Commentators that focus on Western political and cultural issues. Our goal is to support creators who question institutions that believe themselves to be above questioning. In our view, all issues du jour, that's French. Why do they just randomly throw in French in the conversation? I don't speak French. All issues du jour merit rigorous and honor. Du jour. What does that mean? Deserve? Merit rigorous honesty and honest discussion if one wants to come closest to the truth. For those interested in authentic coverage of the topics that matter most, Tenet Media is your home for content. Fearless voices live here. So they're going after a lot of names on this list. Dave Rubin, Blaze Media. Blaze Media is involved in this. YouTube has already cut Lauren Chin. They've removed Lauren Chin's channel. Blaze Media, more like Gaze Media, has disavowed Lauren Chin. When did they? Bro, Blaze Media is so gay. And I used to like them. You know, I used to like Glenn Beck. I liked when they had Slightly Offensive on there. They kicked out Slightly Offensive. They get rid of Lauren Chin, probably the two most based people on their network. Sarah Gonzalez is hot for an older lady. She's a MILF. The undreaded conservative. It's still going to be the dreaded conservative, guys. It just won't be a double entendre anymore. Now it's just going to be straight up, fear me. Fear me. You know, it used to be a double entendre, you know, dreaded and dreaded conservative. But now it's just going to be the dreaded conservative. It's going to be a single entendre. All this Russian talk, people need to slow down. So stupid. Why is everybody always Russian all the time? They need to slow down. When you're on the way to the bathroom, you're a Russian. Once you get to the bathroom, European. Oh, brilliant. Like a pirate. Arr. You going to be up that late, Robbie? You can come in the Discord. I'm going to record it while I do it. And then I'll make a video where I edit it and have like time lapses, and because there's going to be more than just what happens tonight. I got to go to the barber tomorrow. Let's see. What is Reuters saying? Enough from Variety. What's Reuters saying? Reuters sounds like whenever I hear Reuters, I think of hemorrhoids. Like Reuters sounds like an infection or something. I got Reuters. I got to go to the doctor's office in a couple days. I got Reuters. 2 days after U.S. authorities accused 2 employees of Russia state media network RT of coordinating an online network aimed at influencing the 2024 presidential election, more than 400 posts by Tenet Media, the online content company at the heart of the case, were still accessible on TikTok, unlabeled and untouched. Wow. So So YouTube took down Tenet Media, but TikTok hasn't yet. That's because Russia is friends with China. Russia and China, they're close. So too were Tenet Media's nearly 2,500 Instagram videos, more than 4,000 posts on social media network X, along with its posts on Facebook and Rumble. But YouTube took them down. That's so gay. Of all the major platforms where Tenet Media distributed its videos so far, only Alphabet, Google, YouTube, has taken action penalizing the company, pulling down the main Tenet Media channel, along with 4 others operated by owner Lauren Chin on Tuesday. The only other change detected by Reuters to those accounts involved advertisement Tenet had placed on Instagram, which started running in August and was still active as Wednesday, but was disabled by Thursday. Is this a video about it? Hold on, there's an ad playing. None of the other social media companies responded to Reuters' request for comment on how they plan to handle the posts or whether Tenet Media was in violation of their platform's rules. Meta, Instagram, Facebook would also not clarify. Oh, this video is unrelated to the story. Nor did Chin or Liam Donovan, the 2 people named in its incorporation records. Platform's apparent inaction on the campaign is a striking departure from the aggressive efforts they have touted in recent years to expose secret foreign propaganda campaigns, reflecting both the novelty of the tactics allegedly used and the fraught politics of policing content posted by real people inside the United States. It also exposes a fresh challenge faced by the platforms as Russia increasingly turns to unwitting American social media stars to covertly influence voters. Bro, how do I get that money? Ahead of U.S. elections this year. A sort of digital update to Cold War era practices of laundering messages through journalists or front media outlets, according to disinformation researchers. I'm so sick of this disinformation crap. What we're ultimately grappling with is a problem that exists in the real world. It's manifesting on social media in the sense that the entity has a presence there. But it isn't a social media problem per se, said Olga Belagolova. Well, you don't suspect her of working with Russia? Her name is Olga Belagolova, a disinformation professor at Johns Hopkins School. I knew Johnny Hopkins. Me and him and Seth Kettering used to smoke pot together. Advanced International Studies and former head of the Influence Operations Policy at Meta. Meta defines branded content. Wait, the companies also have rules requiring users to disclose sponsorships by applying branded content and paid partnership labels to relevant posts. Tools generally used by influencers paid to promote clothes, makeup, and other products to their thousands of followers. Meta defines branded now, just because they have an option when you upload your stream or your video to say this is paid content or paid partnership, you don't have to do that. That's only if the video is sponsored and you're running an ad for your sponsor in the video, you're supposed to click the paid partnership thing. But it doesn't say anywhere in the terms of service that, see, it says requiring. I don't remember seeing anything in the terms of service that says I'm required to put my paid partnership or my branded content. My brand is jsurbanadventures. My paid partnership is whenever you send super chat. By the way, check your super chat option, guys. We got it. We got it back. You know what the problem was? Why I couldn't get super chats? YouTube did like an update or something, and now and they added like a on-off toggle switch to super chat, super stickers, and super thanks. And so when they did the update, you have to go into your YouTube studio, and you have to go to where it says earn, and you have to turn all those switches on. And I didn't know that. So that's why my super chats have been off for the past like 2 months. But they're on now. We fixed it. So I can get super chats. So finally. Anyway, like I was saying, if you guys send me super chats, that's a paid partnership, and I don't mark the paid partnership box. You know, what if I had some secret? What do they call it? Not a secret Santa. A like a secret investor, and they didn't want their name on it. How can you require me? I don't know. I don't know enough about that, but if you're not running an ad in your video and somebody's just sending you money, it's like basically Russia sent them a $10 million super chat. What the hell, Josh? That is a boomer mistake. It's not my fault. And I kind of am a boomer in my soul, in my spirit. From TNR, The New Republic. By the way, I watched a movie about the New Republic. They had a reporter at the New Republic back when it was the most read political magazine. It was the only political magazine on Air Force One. That was like their claim to fame. One of their reporters for like 10 years wrote 23 fake stories. Totally fake, totally fabricated stories. There's a movie about it called Shattered Glass. Pretty good movie. So if you haven't seen Shattered Glass and you want to see how the media, everything they say could be a lie, watch that movie. It's pretty good. But this is from the New Republic, so don't be surprised if this is total BS. Pro-Trump media firm abruptly folds after Russia scheme exposed. Tenet Media has met hilarious demise. A hilarious demise? Look at that! It's a super chat! Oh my goodness!
Wait till I get my money right.
Hey!
Merry Christmas, Happy Schwanza, Happy Hanukkah.
What up, Robbie? He pat my bottom. We played Santa Claus. What? Yes, Boomer Soul Adventures. I like that. Let the supers rain down. Look, I gave it a little heart. I like it. Thank you, Seesaw. I appreciate that. Conservative Media Network folded last night, just one day after the Department of Justice unsealed an indictment accusing it of being funded by Russian state-controlled media. They're all saying the same thing for the most part. Damn, I'm supposed to get through the first news stuff in an hour. I'm trying to keep it in hour chunks, but it always takes me too long. Tenet Media, American right-wing media company founded by Lauren Chin and her husband Liam Donovan. She didn't take his last name. She's like born, I think she was born in Canada. And then she grew up in like China or Japan. But her name is Chin. She Asian. She kind of fine too. What up? Hey, Liam. You ever want to send that my way? Let's go. It's from that movie Lost and Found with David Spade. Okay. This is just from Wikipedia. These are all the people at Tenet Media. Matt Christensen, Taylor Hanson, Benny Johnson, Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, and Lauren Southern. Lauren Southern turned into a liberal ever since her husband left her because she got pregnant with Destiny's kid. According to the United States Department of Justice, many of Tenet's videos. I didn't know that Tim Pool was part of Tenet Media, and I thought Dave Rubin was on Blaze. No, maybe he was. Maybe he was, and now he's with Tenet. But I guess now he's a free agent. CNN, how some of the biggest right-wing social media stars became unwitting mouthpieces of Russian propaganda. And also, if they did it unknowingly, they didn't know better. Somebody's like, here's $10 million. Read this news story. Okay. I'm down. What the? Supers. What the? Hey. What the? Supers work now. Matthew. That says penis. You just want me to say penis? Thank you, sir. Thank you. Here, have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy Schwanza. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Schwanza. Schwanza. Schwanza is a fake holiday, and so is Kwanzaa. You have a very popular first and last name. Benny Johnson has 2.4 million subscribers. Tim Pool's got millions. Tenet boasts more than 6 million YouTube subscribers. But their influence extends well beyond Google. Pool, known for donning a black beanie, has used his show to host far-right extremists, including Proud Boys leader. Yeah, he also hosts far-left extremists, too. He also does debates between right-wing and left-wing guys and right-wing and left-wing people. I think he's a horrible moderator, but, it is what it is. He's a show host, and when he tries to take on the moderator role, he can't leave his show host role behind. When he had Richard Spencer and Andrew Wilson on there to debate, like Kim started debating Andrew about a totally irrelevant, off-the-topic thing. And Andrew's like, well, I didn't know this was going to be a 2-on-1 about, like, I forget what the topics were, but whatever it was, it's like, I didn't know this was going to be a 2-on-1 about the Civil War. I thought it was going to be a 1-on-1 about immigration. But, I think that's actually exactly what it was. Russian narratives on display. According to the indictment, employees from Russian state media outlet RT. So I have RT pulled up here. I'm not going to show it on the screen. I thought about it, but I don't think they don't pay me enough. If they send me that 10 milli, I will put it on the screen. But let's just look at some of these headlines. Actually, I'm not gonna give you. Look, guys, look at my eye. You see what I'm doing here? Wink, wink. I'm not gonna actually read anything from RT, but if we were to read from RT, what are some examples of headlines that they might have on the website? We're not reading from RT though. Wink, wink. Voice of Darth Vader has passed away. Harris team drafts Trump stand-in for debate prep. I don't see it. And that's from Washington Post. So they're just reporting on a report from the Washington Post. So they got a Trump body double for Harris to practice against. That's actually a good strategy, like a mock debate. If you're preparing for debate, doing a mock debate with somebody, especially if they're studied on you study your opponent. One of the ways you study your opponent is get somebody just like your opponent and practice with them. Germany announces tougher border controls. Democracy dies in the shadows. The rise and fall of Helldivers 2. Is that a video game? Helldivers, or a movie. Software giant names world's most cyber-attacked country. EU state to strengthen air defense after alleged Russian drone incursion. More U.S.-made Ukrainian armor destroyed. 3 dead in attack on Israel-Jordan border. Like, the real barbarians. How the French and British civilized Africa. The heck is that? Anyway, like, these don't seem like... But see, these are the ones that they don't want you to... to talk about. Russia obliterates Ukrainian command center in the Kharkov region. So, maybe that's propaganda. Maybe they didn't obliterate a Ukrainian command center. Maybe they just, had a little battle there or something and it wasn't a big deal. And then they say we obliterated it. But the other side does the same exact thing. And the biggest hypocrisy is the fact that I'm totally allowed to show you this website. Hold on a second. In fact, I probably would get paid more for showing you this website. And even though I've heard a lot of stories where they source this website, the Times of Israel, I've heard of a lot of stories that are obviously, when you hear it, it's total BS. I'm like, no, that's not true. I don't even have to look into it. I just can tell you that's not true. But you talk about this site, you're not getting taken down for reporting from this source, this propaganda source. Dozens reported killed as Israeli strikes target Hamas command center and Gaza tent camp. Bereaved father of hostage to Netanyahu. My son was murdered in a tunnel you built. Oh, dang. They do be out here building tunnels, though. They do be doing that. They're trying to get to Agartha. God said, if you try to dig into the earth, he will pull you down to hell. If you try to escape the earth, he'll crash you back down to it. Space and tunnels, dangerous. Dangerous. A little tunnel in your backyard is always fun, but don't be trying to dig to the core of the earth. That's called Sheol. That's hell. You don't want to go down there. That's why you use numbers. Numbers? Josh, YouTube won't let me super chat. I think it's because I want to use the word. Yeah. Maybe just say bum. Bum. Bum bum. The Bum Bum song. Or say bombastic. Or put a 0. Yeah, like Amanda said, use numbers. Put a 0 instead of O. Journalism is dead. Yeah, you might be right about that. Sounds like a bunch of excuses. And you're a mod. I know. What the heck? So, I don't know. All I know is somebody needs to start paying me. Because I was reporting from RT way before Lauren Chim was. 2022. Psh. Psh. No, I don't even think I started my show until 2022. But I've been about that life, I go to an Antiochian Orthodox church. It's Russian in a mug. I really appreciate Russian culture. I support. During COVID, when America was shutting down its churches, Russia was completing construction on 3 churches a day. 3 churches a day across Russia were construction completed during COVID. Why America was closing its church doors. Just saying. Now, maybe that's Russian propaganda. Maybe they need to pay me to say that. But I don't care. I'll do it for free. I don't care how much the media tells me to hate some people in some country I've never been to. If they're doing base things, then I'm gonna call it base. If they do evil things, I'll call it evil. I call it like I see it. Wish I never met you. Wouldn't want to be you. PAN, I don't want you gonorrhea. PAN, I don't want you gonorrhea. Anyway, shout out Wheezy. Russia's initial response to the coup was to tell people to exercise and eat better. Facts. Why America said, wear a mask, put a mask on your children, don't go outside, stay out of the sunlight. Right. So basically everything that is wrong. Let's not strengthen our immune system. Let's wear a mask everywhere we go, which is the reason why the majority of people died during what was it? What was it? What was that plague? There was a plague, and the majority of people that died from I forget all the big words, cardio arrhythmia or some crap like that. Basically, there was a plague. Everybody wore masks, and then they died because they were wearing masks, because they were recycling all of the bad air instead of breathing it out. It kills your immune system. You need to just get the germs and build up immunities to them, natural immunity. Sunlight. Come to find out, sunlight helps COVID. And they told everybody to stay inside for 2 years. Don't go to work. The arrows on the ground at the grocery store. Yeah, that's how you stop a pandemic. People are dumb. And then meanwhile in Russia, they're like, go to church, get some exercise, go outside, eat healthier, stop eating garbage. In America, we're like, wear a mask, hide in the dark, don't ever go outside, don't visit your grandma while she's dying. Let's put young people in the nursing home with the elderly people, young sick people in the nursing home with the elderly people who are most likely to die from this. What else? Oh, yeah, and then we're going to, take this shot. We don't know what it does, but just take this shot, and then everything will be better. Speaking of, the hurricane is coming in 2 days. Also, I was listening to Easy was debating these liberals about who you're going to vote for, and oh my God, I wanted to be on that panel so bad with those guys. I would have destroyed them. They're like, if you ever hear a liberal saying Trump mishandled COVID, ask them who got them the vaccine in 9 months that they wanted so bad that they said they couldn't possibly get for at least 2 years. Every freaking Democrat was saying, oh my God, this is going to be horrible. The only way we're going to survive is if we get a vaccine, and we can't possibly get a vaccine for 2 to 2.5 years. Trump got it for you in 9 months. Now, I'm not a fan of the vaccine. I never got it. But if you're a Democrat and you wanted a vaccine, you needed a vaccine. It's the only way you could ever go outside and see the light of day is if you have a vaccine. And you think this is never going to end. We're not going to have it for 2 years. And Trump gets it to you in 9 months. Don't you ever say Trump mishandled COVID. Don't say it. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You wanted a vaccine. You got it in 9 months because of Trump. So shut up. People are idiots. I'll be the grifter, JS. I'll be the JS grifter. Oh, nice. The #1 cult member. #1 cult member. I was listening to a thing on what show was I listening to? What show was that? It was a guy who wrote I can't remember what show it was. I think it was Shawn Michaels I was watching. I can't remember, but he was talking about Jim Jones cult, and I don't know. I forget what I was gonna say, but he said like Jim Jones actually wasn't a bad guy all the time. He was actually like not a horrible guy in the earlier, and that the Jim Jones cult was actually supported by all sorts of politicians. He was going through a list of names of big people who supported Jim Jones' church. And he was saying Jim Jones was actually not that bad of a guy. But then they went out to Ghana and they got a little crazy and they got a little too apocalyptic. And they were true believers. So they died for their cause. Or they killed them. They offed themselves. They self-deleted. We're not on TikTok. I can say they killed themselves. This is why I don't go on TikTok. She's so #2. I don't know, Bibby. I think she's a silver member and you're only a bronze member. I could be wrong about that. And she sent a super chat. You see that? I don't know. But Bibby's made me AI stuff. Bibby makes me AI stuff. So he's also the #1 cult member. She's the #1 woman. You're the #1 man in the cult. Bibby got me some good. You finished that song yet? Because that song is incomplete. You know that, right? It just like stops in the middle of the verse. But Bibby's making me Trump versus Kamala music that I can play at the beginning of the Trump versus Kamala debate stream tomorrow. We're going to live react to that. And he made me a thumbnail. The thumbnail's sick. It's Trump and Kamala arm wrestling. I'll make the thumbnail later tonight, but we're going to watch the debate tomorrow if it happens. I'm thinking it's going to happen. And he's making me a song. Did you make the Goodbye Dreadlock song yet? Oh, I didn't listen to it yet. What happened to my YouTube channel? I'm live right now. What do you mean? I haven't listened to this yet. Let's listen to this.
Once was a crown of wisdom wrapped tight around my soul, each twisted strand a memory, each like a story told. But now I stand here questioning, with scissors in my hand, can I really cut this tether to the life that I had planned? Goodbye to the past, it's a heavy price to pay.
This is very
So
sad.
let it fall, let it drift into the night. Goodbye to the old me, I'm ready for the flight.
Yeah.
Every strand that is lost, I find a little more. A new beginning waits behind that closing door.
Dang, what is that? What is that sound? What is that? Why is there a rumbling in my ears? Do you guys hear that? What the heck is that? Is that coming from voice mod? What the heck is that? What is that sound coming from? Hold on, we gotta task manager this. Because if it's coming from voice mod and I close voice mod runs in the background. Why did voice mod just start doing that? That was weird. Felt like I was in a spaceship. Baby, this song is this song is sad, dude. I'm about to cry. I'm about to boo-hoo. This song's sad than a mug. Take off your headset. It's brown noise. It's the brown note. Is that why I got a doo-doo now? But no, it was from my soundboard. Maybe I hit a hotkey or something. I was trapped in space. Yeah. If I close the voice mod, if I close the soundboard, it runs in the background, so that sound would have kept going. So I had to task manager it. But this song is sad than a mug, baby. I'm about to cry. Getting all choked up.
Holds your spirit, your essence and your grace. But here I am confronting what I'm leaving in its place. These tangled roots have served me, but change is calling me. With every snip I'm shedding skin, I'm setting my heart free. The weight of it all feels like a brand new day. So I'll let it fall, let it drift into the night. Goodbye to the old me, I'm ready.
I said give me a sad Goodbye Dreadlock song. But I didn't know it was going to be this sad. Dang, baby. What the?
For the flight. With every strand that is lost, I find a little more. A new beginning waits behind that closing door.
Okay, there's like 40 seconds left. We'll listen to the full thing in the next stream in the after party. Dang, I'm about to cry. What the heck? What up, cleaner? Shout out. Song is depressing as heck. I know. What the heck? Josh is in space hearing strange sounds. I know. Now I gotta open my soundboard again. Dang, Bibby. I'm all choked up over here. All right, let's move on. Next story. We're gonna talk about the Georgia shooting, and more importantly, because I know this is a weekly news show, and this happened early. There it is again. What is that? Why is that happening? Background effects. Hold on. How do I turn this off? Oh, I see. It is astronaut. Astronaut in space. Sound effect. How do I stop it? I can turn it down, but why can't I stop it? I don't know why it was doing that. Beta soundboard. It auto started. That's not what space sounds like. I know, there's no sound in space. What the heck? I know this Georgia story. I'm kind of late on this one, but it's a weekly news show, so what are you going to do? But more importantly than the fact that this happened, I want to talk about, and we talked about this the first time it happened. What was the shooting that happened recently where they charged the parents? And we said then, this is dangerous. This is a dangerous precedent. This is not good. This is not a good thing. And I think at the time when that, like before that happened, everybody would have agreed. Yeah, you don't, if a 14-year-old kid goes and shoots up a school, you don't charge the parents for it. Everybody would agree to that. But then once they did it once, we all said, everybody, every pundit, every talking head, not everyone, but a lot of us were like, this is not good. This is not a good thing. This is not good. And it's going to start happening all the time. And you're going to see that it's only going to happen usually. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I stand corrected, but let's just see what race of people, what race of parents get charged in when children do shootings. I wonder how many parents are going to get charged when their 14-year-old kid does a drive-by in gang violence. I would bet you none of them. I would bet you never see a story of a parent getting charged. I mean, well, they probably, chances are their father's not around and he's already in prison, but that's fucked up. But I don't agree with it 100%, but there are positives to it. Anyway, we'll talk about it. First, let's talk about the shooting. I have a cousin that has a daughter that called, didn't go to school, Bibby. What does that mean? What does that even mean? What does that even mean, Robbie? What we know after, this is from AP, what we know after a 14-year-old boy was charged with killing 4 people at his Georgia high school. A 14-year-old boy stands charged with 4 counts of murder, accused of using a semi-automatic assault-style rifle. It's an assault-style rifle. That means it's designed for assaulting. It's an assault-style rifle. To kill 2 students and 2 teachers this week at his high school in Georgia. Colt Gray had his first hearing Friday after being charged as an adult in the latest mass shooting. He's 14 and he got charged as an adult. Yeah, I think in some states, 14, you can be charged as an adult if you do certain crimes like murder and stuff. Immediately after that hearing, his father, 54-year-old Colin Gray, appeared in the same courtroom charged with multiple offenses for allowing his son to have a weapon. How does that make any sense? If the son was charged as an adult, how is the father responsible? So that doesn't make any sense right there. Usually these kids, when they do this, they they never see the courtroom because they either take themselves out, or a good guy with a gun takes them out, or the police take them out. Usually they never see a courtroom, but the fact that he's in court and he's being charged as an adult, why is his father responsible for an adult? Does that make any sense to you? No, because it doesn't make any sense. It's ridiculous. This is actually an op to discourage parents from buying guns. If you have a kid, don't buy a gun, because if your kid goes crazy and does something, which it is the parent's fault. It's how the parent raised the child. But you're setting a dangerous precedent. We're going to have to play out the logic of this. Yeah, right. Well, a false flag. Yeah, that too, Matthew. We don't even know about that. How far are we going to take this? If you have some pot and your kid takes your pot, are you going to get a drug charge? Are we going to start charging parents with drug charges so that they lose their job? Parents go to jail, rips families apart for small things. Like, how far is this going to go? And I didn't even know he was charged as an adult. That makes it totally nonsense. What we know, Colt Gray was in algebra class when I can kind of feel him on that one. Every time I was in algebra class, I just wanted to start shooting. I should not say that. I should not say that. Letters don't belong in math, okay? But I can kind of feel for him on that one. He left the classroom according to classmates. One believed he was skipping class again. You don't go to class and then skip class. You don't go to class and then leave in the middle and skip class. You just don't go. But Gray returned and knocked for someone to open the locked door. Why was the door locked? Students who went to the door saw something through the window and backed away. Classmate Laya Sayarath said she saw Gray turn and then heard gunshots, 10 or 15 of them at once, back to back. Well, that statement doesn't make sense. 10 or 15 at once, back to back. A school resource officer found the shooter, who surrendered at 10:26 a.m. Authorities say the suspect killed 4 people, 9 others were hurt. Rest in peace to them. That's horrible. Not trying to make light of the dead people, but we got a joke. 9 others were hurt, 7 of them shot. 7 of them shot. So 2 others must have been hurt, maybe trampled or something like that. Georgia Bureau of Investigation says the suspect acted alone. What's CNN saying? Okay, so there's been some interesting things coming out. Apparently, the mom knew about it from CNN. Shooting suspect's mom drove 200 miles to Winder, Georgia, after getting a cryptic text the morning of the school attack. Is this her? There's going to be an ad.
14-year-old Bree Jones was the first student to lay
Let's watch
eyes
this.
on Colt Gray, just moments before she says he began his deadly rampage.
Like, he knocked on the door. I went up. I saw him holding a bag and just pulling the gun out. I'm not sure what kind of bag was it, but I seen him pulling it out of a bag, and the gun was so big.
Gray was her classmate, and
look at this kid, bro. This kid looks like a school shooter. Come on.
The first he tried to enter, she tells CNN.
I always look out the door before I open it. That's just it's a habit my mom taught me.
But as her teacher instructed her to let him back in, she said,
I know he has a gun. If I would have...
Were the firearms secured or in a safe spot? You mean at the parents' house? Well, apparently the dad gave him the gun. Which, Robbie, you live in Georgia. What's the laws on that? How long can you give your kid a gun? How old? What's the youngest you can give a kid a gun? Because in the old days, all the kids had a gun. You'd be given a gun on your freaking first birthday. And they would take them to school in their trucks. And nobody got shot. Parents weren't in trouble. Like, and now, as soon as it happens once, they charge the parents. Now everybody's on board with it. Let's charge the parents. Charge the parents. You better start charging the parents for every crime a kid commits. I got charged as a juvenile. I committed crimes when I was a juvenile. I was doing burglaries when I was 16. Self-professed. So what all are we going to charge parents for when their kids do it? And my biggest point is, I want to start seeing all the gang shooting, but they don't even keep statistics on gang violence anymore because it's racist. FBI doesn't keep racial statistics on shootings anymore and gang violence. They won't consider gang violence a mass shooting. They won't count that in the stats. So when people tell you all these white kids are doing mass shootings, that's a lie. It's not just white kids doing mass shootings. They just don't give you the statistics on the gang violence because it's racist. It's a racist statistic. I didn't know statistics could be racist, but according to the FBI, they are. So, are we going to start charging all those parents for that stuff? Whenever there's a, what do they call them? Rambunctious youths or young party goers. Whenever young party goers do a mass shooting, are we gonna charge them? It's not a felony. What's not a felony? Burglary is not a felony? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it definitely is. Selling drugs is a felony. If you have over an ounce, or there's felony amounts of pot that you could have back in the day. Maybe not anymore. I still haven't heard of verification of the weapon. It's speculation. Parents should not be charged past negligence for securing the weapon. Right. Okay, I'll agree with you on that one. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. You know, you give them a why can't I say that? Negligence charge. Right. I'll agree with that one. I'll agree with that. So if you want to give them some sort of I can't say negligence. In 30 states, a kid under 18 can have a shotgun or rifle. A pistol is still 18. Thank you, Amanda. Amanda's on it with the fact-checking action. Faction. I was wondering if the parents just left the firearms laying around. Well, there was also that, remember that like 7-year-old kid took the gun out of his mom's purse and went to school and shot his teacher? Was she the one that got charged? Because this is now the second time that the parents are getting charged. There was another one recently. We talked about it. Let's get back to this video.
Open the door, then like he would have got every single one of us in that class. And I don't want me, my teacher, my friends in the class, and my other classmates, I don't want none of us to get hurt. So I just didn't go. Like, I thank God that I did not open that door.
Jones said Gray moved on to her sister's class down the hall.
Colt shot my teacher multiple times.
Malaysia Mitchell says she'll never be able to erase the image of her teacher, Richard Aspinwall, begging for help.
We had to drag our teacher's body and fully into the classroom. We heard him take his last breath.
Mitchell says she felt powerless.
I've been trained what to do, like give CPR and other stuff, but I couldn't because I couldn't help him. So I ended up having a seizure.
The 14-year-old suspect who allegedly caused all this pain.
Wait, what? She said, what did she just say? She said, I tried to give him CPR, but I couldn't, so I ended up having a seizure? Is that what she just said?
In court today, with families of the victims just feet behind him.
You're charged with 4 counts of felony murder.
Just minutes after the suspected shooter left the courtroom, where he did not enter a plea, his father walked in for his own first appearance.
2 counts of felony murder.
Bro. 2 counts. Now, and here's a weird thing too. The kid killed 4 people. Why is the dad getting 2 murder charges? This doesn't make any sense.
In the second degree, you're charged with 4 counts felony involuntary manslaughter.
And he's charged with 8 counts of second-degree felony cruelty to children.
What?
An arrest warrant for Colin Gray alleges he gave his son a firearm when he knew his son was a threat to himself and to others. It's only the second time a parent has...
And how can you assume that? He knew his child was a threat to himself and others. That's not right. I feel terrible for the dad. Yes, he's out. I don't know. But watch. It's going to start happening more and more and more. There's going to be... From now on, every time a kid does this, their parents are going to get charged. But you're never going to hear of a parent being charged for their kid who did a drive-by and, shot little Susie, left the... Because, when they do the drive-by, they hold the yapper sideways like O-Dog, and they let the yapper sing, They'll have 4 guys in a Cadillac, a sawed-off shotgun, a Tech-9, and a pistol, and they'll drive by and they'll try to hit one guy on his porch, but they'll end up hitting they won't hit him, but they'll hit the old man next door. They'll hit the little girl playing in her yard. They'll hit a puppy walking down the street. Their parents aren't going to get charged. I guarantee you.
Has been charged in connection with a mass shooting carried out by their child.
The GBI has arrested Colin Gray.
Guilty of...
Last April, in an unprecedented
Here it
case,
is.
the parents of Ethan Crumley were each sentenced to...
Ethan Crumley, unprecedented case. Guess what? The precedent has been set. So this is now going to happen every time. Maybe not every time, but this is going to be very common. It's going to start happening more and more. And I think this is an op to discourage specifically white parents from buying guns. That's what I think. Call me crazy. But I told you when this happened, they've set the precedent, and this is a dangerous precedent that they've set, and we're going to see this happen more and more and more now. Case law has been set. And how far are they going to take this? What are they going to start charging parents for that their kids do? I believe the parents are responsible for how their kid turns out. How you raise your child. The child is the result of how the parents raise them. But this is going to get crazy. This is going to get crazy.
10 to 15 years for involuntary manslaughter. The DA in the case says Colt Gray may face additional charges.
You can anticipate there will be new charges on Colt Gray because we never addressed the other victims in the school.
At Appalachia High, some students left wondering how they can possibly move forward.
All right, so this is crazy. This is not good, guys. What is chat saying? Does it go both ways? If a parent can be charged for the child's crime, can a parent also be rewarded for their child's accomplishments? Are we giving payouts to parents who raise heart surgeons? Yeah, and I'm wondering if the kid's charged as an adult, then how are the parents responsible for an adult? You can't charge the kid as an adult and charge his father. That doesn't make any sense. This is crazy. And people are just going to go along with it. But I think Cleaner's right. I agree with that. I agree if you want to give some sort of minor charge, some sort of lesser charge, like negligence, I'll be okay with that. But 2 cases of murder. The dad was charged with 2 cases of felony murder. That's wild. Also, what was the thing I was thinking about? Okay, so if the kid's charged as an adult, what if you're 22, but you live with your parents? Nowadays, people live with their parents until they're 30. What if I guess, let's say, because they say the frontal cortex or whatever doesn't develop until you're 25. What if you're 23 and you live with your parents and you take your parents' gun and you go shoot somebody? The rebuttal to that would be, well, that's an adult. Well, that kid was charged as an adult and his parents got charged. You know? If the kid is old enough to be held accountable and charged, then you just charge the kid. If the kid's too young to be held accountable, then the kid didn't know any better. So like the 7-year-old kid that took the gun out of the purse and shot the teacher, that kid was like 7 years old. Probably thought he was playing with a toy. Probably had no idea what was going on. You can't charge the parents in that situation. And if the kid is old enough to understand what he's doing and be held accountable and planned it out and all these other things, I don't think you can charge the parents for that either. If the kid buys some pot, or if the kid, say the kid takes the parent's pot from under the bed, you know, that's a legal thing that the parents are allowed to buy. They should keep it out of reach of children. But I don't know if you guys were ever a kid, but I was a kid once, and my parents weren't hiding nothing from me. Every year, my mom would try to hide the Christmas presents. Not once was she successful. Not once. I remember one year she put the presents in the attic, and she put, like, as she was closing the attic, she put a glass on the, it was one of those attic doors that come down like this and the ladder flips out. So as she was closing it, she put a glass cup on it and closed it so that if I opened it, the cup would fall and break. You think you're going to get me with that? I had a blanket. I held a blanket and I pulled the cord and the glass fell on the blanket. I caught that bitch. You ain't tricking me, Mom. You ain't hiding something from me. The first porno I ever saw was a VHS tape that my dad had hidden in his sock drawer. I found it. I knew where all the guns were. It was funny when I went home to Florida and I was after my dad passed away, I went home to Florida to help my mom empty out because the house was big and, you know, my little brother had moved out. My dad passed away. So it was just Joey and my mom in this big old house. And so I went down there to help them clean out the attic, clean out the garage, clean out the sheds, pack everything into a moving truck. I helped them move, basically. And once we had the whole house empty, and by the way, I hadn't been home in like 15 years. I hadn't been to that house in like 15 years. And the house was totally empty. And Daddy Jub's like, the only thing that sucks is while we were moving, I never found Dad's shotgun. And I wanted that shotgun. And I was like, oh, you don't have it? You don't know where it is? He's like, no, I don't know where it is. I said, 1 second. And remember, I haven't been to this house in 15 years. There was an alcove in my parents' bedroom. It was like a little cutout up in the corner of the room. And you could my mom used to put flowers up there and stuff that would grow down the wall. I ran and I jumped up and I grabbed it and I did a pull up and I looked and I said, oh, there's the shotgun. I knew where that shotgun was hidden since we moved into that house when I was like 13. He didn't know where it was. I knew where it was. I still remembered where it was. After not going to that house for 15 years, 20 years later, I still knew where the gun was. You can't hide stuff from kids. Are you going to put it in a safe? You think the kid's not going to figure out how to open the safe by the time they're 13? Kids are curious. Kids are freaking, they'll figure it out. They'll find out where the key is. They'll figure out what the code is. You can't, there's no secure way to keep a gun locked up away from a 13-year-old if they really want to get to it. Both my kids' schools have metal detectors now. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's see what chat's saying. Whenever a case happens, they'll always throw the most severe charges out. A lot of times they reduce them to get a plea. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen in this case. The mom talked to a counselor for 10 minutes. Shots rang out 30 minutes later. Okay, so the school was warned. You know? This is insane. It is insane. The only way he should get charged is if he was egging the kid on. Right. Because then it would be, yeah, he would be complicit at that point. Yeah. The mom talked to a counselor. Or I already read that. This is not a slippery slope issue. This is an avalanche trap, and someone pulled the fucking stick. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. And we're going to watch it happen in real time. He was in public school. How many of his waking hours was he with his parents? Yeah, I say this all the time. They spend 75% of their waking waking hours with strangers at school. They're not with the parents. How many hours was he with his teachers? Who had more time to influence that kid, the parents or the teachers? Exactly, stubborn one. Charge the teachers. That's right. How the heck did he get a huge shotgun into a school without anyone noticing? The kid was bullied at school and by his dad and his mom. I don't really care about that. I think, like, how much? Like, what kind of bullying? Because nowadays, if I call a chick fat, I'm a bully. You know? Or if I don't just walk around calling chicks fat. But you know what I'm saying? Like, people are so soft nowadays. I actually think we need more bullying. We used to have more bullying. A lot of this crap wouldn't be happening if we had more bullies. It's a gray area. There's a level of bullying that's too much. And then there's too little bullying. We need to find that happy middle for the bullies. He was a video. It was the video games. Are we going with the video game? Sneaky little jazz. Also, all these kids bullied him, then turned around shocked that he wants to retaliate. His dad said he was proud of his son shooting a deer instead of video games. That's based. Sounds like a good father. Josh playing the Mission Impossible theme music as he sneaks up to get his Christmas presents. Bump, 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 bump. I got bullied all through school. Right, and look how you turned out. Amazing. We need a little bit of bullying in our life. I was bullied and learned to make friends with the biggest kids. Got to think things through. I was fat. I was bullied. There was this kid, David Killen. Hey, fuck you, David Killen, by the way. I think he's dead, actually. But he was like 20 years old. He had been held back like 27 times. He was like 20 years old in 9th grade. And this kid hated me. This kid was such a douche. He would always like chase me through the halls, and I'd have to like hide and sneak through the halls and stuff. It wasn't even fair. He was a damn adult. Greek cleaner. Not all kids get sideways, and his dad is a shot head. What's a shot head? The mom has a long. What's a shot head? No way high schools require kids to use see-through bars now. I don't know what that means. When you take the tools away from teachers to teach kids right from wrong, you get this type of issue more and more. Yeah, I heard. I was listening to a thing the other day, and they were explaining how from the beginning of the public school system, it was designed to go against God. And there's the case. Basically, what the guy was saying, he said, you know how people say we need to bring God back to the schools? this guy said that doesn't make any sense because God was never in the schools. The reason that they started the public schools was to destroy God. That there was never God in public schools. Now, they taught creation instead of evolution, but that was quickly done away with. I forget the name of the case, but it was the whole case about the teaching evolution instead of creationism, or and then it used to say creator, and they had to take that out of the books and they replaced it with intelligent design, and that was like a loophole so that they could still teach intelligent design. But that was never basically this guy's argument was God was never in the public schools. That the whole reason they started public schools was to get rid of God. If God was ever in the public schools, it was just something they did at the time to get their foot in the door. And then the plan from the beginning was to get rid of that. I thought it was pretty interesting. I don't remember who I was listening to that was talking about that, but it was pretty interesting. Never understood the teacher thing. I have several friends that are teachers that couldn't wait to get out of school. What are we parents going to do? I go to the school board meetings and live stream them from 10 feet away while people argue this with them. These are the 2 students and 2 teachers killed. Let's give some respect for the victims. Mason Schermerhorn just started high school last month. Photos of him showing a smiling young man wearing glasses on a fundraising page. He's being remembered by his sister as a teenager who was funny and liked to tell jokes. Christian Angulo. Like Mason, Christian was a freshman at Appalachia. He was a very good kid and very sweet and so caring. Was loved by many. Ricky Aspinwall was the teacher. Aspinwall was a math teacher who also coached football. He and his wife Shayna formerly taught together at Mountain View High School. The couple had 2 young daughters. Damn, that's sad. Christina Irimi is a math teacher, was loved by many and cared deeply. This guy really didn't like math. Her loss is especially heartbreaking for Gabrielle Booth, one of her good friends. All right, so those are the victims. R.I.P. Colt appeared in court as more charges planned against suspect. DA says, yeah, I think I've said everything I need to say on this, but but the biggest, I just wanted to talk about this. The father being charged with 2 counts of murder, 8 counts of child abuse and then 4 counts of manslaughter. Which also is strange because if you're getting charged with 2 counts of murder, how are you also getting charged with 4 counts of manslaughter? That means for 2 of those charges, for 2 of those victims, he's being charged with manslaughter and murder. How does that make any sense? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. I know the law quite well because I was in the system most of my life, but that just seems odd to me. I don't know. Anyway, enough of that story. I got to move faster. I got to get through this stuff. Trump Town Hall highlights from Trump Town Hall. I'm going to let her talk. ABC debate after Hannity asked what the former president was going to get ready for next week's debate with Harris. Trump replied, I've been practicing all my life for this stuff. It'll be an interesting event. The former president said debates are unpredictable, so a candidate needs to be nimble. Nimble, that's a fun word. Many before him have prepped extensively only to fail miserably. A lot depends on ABC. Let's just watch this video of some highlights from the Trump Town Hall. If anything, we'll watch it in the after party because I haven't watched this town hall yet. I missed it. I've been busy this week.
Former President Donald Trump appeared in.
This is from Fox. This is from Fox 43. Fox 43. Who's got Fox on channel 43?
Harrisburg last night, addressing thousands of people at the Farm Show complex during a Fox News Channel town.
What up, Buff?
Another segment from that taping.
I think the 2 charges are for the kids. Right, but how is he charged for both manslaughter and murder? Can't wait to see the clean-cut, real dreaded conservative. Hold their feet to the fire on these issues, live stream the meetings so they know they are getting outed for being asshats with their rule creation and care for our kids. Facts. I've been streaming about this all week and I'm waiting on hate crime charges. Well, the 2 teachers were white. The names of the 2 kids sounded ethnic, but I don't know. They don't have pictures of the kids up for obvious reasons, but the 2 teachers were white. If anything, he hated math. You know, they might give him a hate crime because he obviously hated math. He killed 2 math teachers, and it happened during algebra class. What do you think about, you've been covering this all week, what do you think about charging parents for this sort of thing, Buff?
Is going to air tonight. Fox 43's Marcia Keeley is here with some of the key takeaways from the visit as we look ahead to next week's debate.
Yeah, Evan, we went over some of what former President Trump said just after the hour-long segment.
All right, come on.
Former President Trump took the stage
this is what I want to see.
Arena for the 3rd time this year on Wednesday night. Due to the Secret Service's capacity restrictions, the bowl was less than half full, but the former president was still full-throated when speaking about his time in the White House.
Yo, I appreciate that Fox said that because I guarantee you ABC and NBC and CNN's reporting on this was like, well, it wasn't a very big crowd. He didn't even fill the building. It was only halfway full. You know, he's not drawing crowds like he used to. I bet you they reported on it like that. Instead of saying it was only half full because the Secret Service said so. Because Trump got some dang new Secret Service now. They on it.
The biggest tax cuts in the history of our country. If you let the Trump tax cuts expire, which he...
If the neglect is proven, charge the parents. But yeah, but you charge them with neglect. You don't charge them with murder. See, Buff's going to have the cold take on this one. Buff's not going to have the hot take on this one. He's going to have the cold take on this one. If it was neglect. He gave the kid a gun. You're allowed to give a kid a rifle or a shotgun. That's legal. Are you getting that he was autistic? The black kid? I don't mind, graduated with coaches. One kid was Hispanic, the other one was black. Yeah, they might hit him with some hate crime stuff, but if you look at the ratio, it's 2 white people, 1 black person, 1 Mexican person. I don't know how that could be a hate crime. But you know how it goes nowadays. I don't even like going down this road. But it's in my face all the time. I'm not into the anti-white racism narrative, but I'm seeing it it's getting to where you can't really ignore it anymore.
Wants to do. She wants to terminate them. If you do that, you will suffer the biggest tax increase in history.
This time he's running with a record, and that record is piss poor.
Democratic State Representative Malcolm Kenyatta rejects the former president.
Why was that clip of that random dude sitting in his car on network television to talk about Trump? What has that guy done to get to sit in his car and talk about Trump?
Assertions.
Donald Trump's only economic plan, and the only thing he actually accomplished as president.
Who are you? Oh, he's a state representative. That's why. Bro, from Philadelphia. Oh my God.
Was cutting taxes for people who can afford memberships to his club.
Speaking with Fox
That's
News
not
host
true.
Sean Hannity, former President Trump discussed the weight of inflation.
Bro, I paid less taxes under Trump, and I was homeless. I was homeless under Obama and the beginning of Trump's term, and then I got housed under Trump. Just saying. And I never took the free phone either. I never took the free phone, and I never used the transgender bathroom. Thanks, Obama. That's all Obama did.
Can't buy a home. They can't do anything. Your business is stopped up. You can't borrow money. And by the way, I had interest rates at 2%. Now they're 10%. But
Why is he in his car?
Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris addressed a crowd in New Hampshire on Wednesday, laying out her plan for economic success.
She's talking about helping people buy their first home and expanding our housing stock in the first place. So building more, but also helping people with that down payment.
Days ahead of the first debate between the major party candidates, Mr. Trump spoke confidently.
I think you might give her the questions and give her the answers with the questions. I'm not sure it's going to help her.
Kenyatta says he expects Vice President.
I'm hyped for this debate tomorrow. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Last thing we're going to touch on in the main story news. We've spent way too much time in main story news. We got to rush through this stuff. The SAVE Act. The SAVE Act. The House of Representatives will vote this week on H.R. 8281, the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act. The SAVE Act. Introduced by Chip Roy. I like Chip Roy. The SAVE Act requires voters to provide documentary proof of citizenship at the time of registration, like an ID. Both parties agree that voter registration should permit all eligible citizens and only eligible citizens to register and vote. Although instances of non-citizen registration and voting are rare, the SAVE Act's goal of ensuring that only citizens can register to vote is important. There are easier, more cost-effective ways to improve voter registration that don't create new barriers for eligible voters. Here's what you need to know about requiring proof of citizen to register to vote. Citizenship is already a requirement to vote, but it is not always the easiest thing to prove. The SAVE Act needs more time and resources to be implemented well. There are better ways like real ID and data sharing to improve voter list accuracy. The federal government should expand state access to federal. Why can't we do both of them? We should do ID and SAVE Act, like, especially when we've had basically an open border for the past 4 years. Thanks, Biden. The federal government should expand state access to federal eligibility data. State legislators are making progress on citizenship and list maintenance. I think you had to be black to get the Obama phone. No, I knew hobos that had it. There's no black people in Salt Lake City, and they had them here. There's like 4 black people in Salt Lake City, to be fair. I have black friends that couldn't get one either because they were putting American on their sign-up sheet and not African American. What? Is that real? Is that real? Maybe. I know white guys that got them here in Utah. Exactly, Seasal. Just like when I gave you the answers to Bible Belt. Wait a second. Wait a second. You were giving Seasal the answers? That's why she won the Bible Belt? Speaking of that, Robbie, when are we going to have another Bible Belt? You don't get to win a belt and never defend it, Seasal, Robbie. We can't do the Bible Belt one time and then never do it again. Seasal gets to be the forever champion of the Bible Belt holder. When are we going to bring back Battle of the Minds? When are we going to bring back the Bible Belt? It's been like 2 years. Seasal's just been sitting on her freaking Bible Belt. Who has the Battle of the Minds belt? Freddie? Has Freddie been sitting on the Battle of the Minds belt for like 2 years? What is going on here, Robbie? I want the Bible belt, and I want the Battle of the Minds belt, and I have a UVC belt. Nobody's challenging me for that. I'm throwing up challenges. I'm the belt holder. I shouldn't have to challenge people. You're supposed to challenge me. Nobody wants the smoke. No, but for real, I want the Bible belt. Seasal's held the Bible belt for like 2 years. It's dusty. It's dusty in a mug. She's got it on a shelf in her house above her stove. It's covered in grease from when she cooking food, splattering on it. Grease splatter on the Bible belt. Undisputed champion Seasal. You want the UVC, bro? You want to challenge me to a UVC? We could do that. I think we probably agree on more than we disagree on, but we could do that. We used to do a trivia show like 2 years ago on this channel, and we had the Battle of the Minds, which was just broad trivia, and the winner would get the Battle of the Minds belt. And then we had the Bible belt. One time we did the Bible belt, which was Bible trivia, and Seesaw won the Bible belt, and then we never did it again. So she's just been holding the Bible belt for like 2 years now. You know, I'll argue the opposite side though. I know, but I don't want to do that, because I know you can do it, but you can't argue the opposite side as well as you can argue what you really believe. I know you can do it, but I don't think you can do it as good as if you truly believe it, Cleaner. Because what did we have the one-on-one? We had a 1v1, or wait, what were we? Didn't we do a 1v1 like 2 or 3 weeks ago? And I felt like you were not really strong in that, or maybe I heard you do one. I can't remember if we did it or if, but I felt like, no, I think I was listening to you while I was at work. I think I was listening to you in a VK doing a 1v1 with somebody, and you took the opposite side and you lost. And I think you lost because you were kind of playing devil's advocate. You were kind of didn't really stand on that. But I won in Vigilante with saying that water is not wet, and then I Googled it, and Google agrees that water is not wet. And when I read what Google said, it was like exactly my argument. But I had never read that or heard that before. I just made something up. Let's have that again. I know we need to bring back the Bible belt, Robbie. I'm feeling motivated. Might get something. Can't be so late though. Well, let's do it tomorrow after the debate. Actually, Unique Prepping wants me to go on his panel tomorrow after the debate. And I'm already going to be live, so I'm probably going to do that. So we might have to plan it for like next Tuesday or something. I was clowning. Seesaw will never lose the Bible belt. She's brilliant when it comes to scripture. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Through the past VKs, I've also been increasing my aggressive wording to see how the turnout would be. No way. Was it like a wrestling style looking belt? Well, we didn't have physical belts, Dean. We did talk about getting some physical belts and mailing them out. And then if you lost it, you would have to mail it to the next person. But we never did that. Remember, Dean, when you came up with the idea of starting like remember you said, let's get a box, and you put something in the box and you send it to somebody, and then they put something in the box and send it to somebody. That was a good idea, except for the fact that I don't think everybody wants everybody on the channel to know their address. Also, once you send it to Dean, who knows what's going to be in the box? What's in the box? What's in the goddamn box? Those belts are very dusty. I know. Who has the Battle of the Minds belt? All right, enough main news. It's late. Dang, I went too long with that. I went way too long with the main news. We got to get to everybody's favorite section of the show. Y'all know what time it is. We got to burn through this. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for the memes. Smokey the Bear says, only you can prevent communism. K-A-M, unism. China. Lincoln Park reunite for new album and tour with controversial new female singer. Bro, we're never going to get tired of Reagan. Reagan. Nice. Next. This is a homeless guy. His sign says, throw some cheese on a broke-ass cracker. Nice. That's epic. Hey. Guys, hit the super chat up. Throw some cheese on a broke-ass cracker. With dreadlocks. Not for long. Taco Bell. The ever delicious Taco Bell. Look at this. Taco Bell vending machine with a toilet built into it. This picture reminds me of when I went to the juvenile detention center for the first time and they had the toilet in the middle of the pod. And I didn't go number 2 for 14 days because I was shy. Later, I was institutionalized, and I would just take a dump anywhere. I didn't care. But the first time I got locked up, I was afraid to go to the bathroom in front of people. Next. Well, this is awkward. Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, they're all round. But look at Earth. Look at Earth. They gonna destroy the Earth. What is up with Earth? Dang. That's a beta Earth.
Beta.
Flat Earth. Lame. Next. This is going to be me after I shave and cut the dreads off. Look, this alpha male, Chad, decides to shave the beard. And then this is what he looks like. Dang. He went from alpha to
beta.
Next. Hi, did it hurt? What? When you fell from heaven? Did you just call me Satan? Dang. All he wanted was a Pepsi, even in the water, so I've heard. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's amazing to drop a deuce when you're underwater, when you're submerged. You kind of got to be swimming as you do it. Otherwise, it floats up around you. Anyway, next. When it's your first home invasion and you're kind of nervous because the robber won't stop saying, please, and I have a family, bro. Shut up. I have the talking stick.
It's a man, baby.
There's a gun, baby. Shut up. I have the talking stick. Why is a possum holding? I don't understand the possum, but anyway, next. It's just a picture of Barack Obama throwing a ball like a girl. Beta. No context, just Barack Obama throwing a baseball like a girl. No caption on this one either. This is Tim Waltz and CNN carrying Kamala. Next. When police learn it's a holiday weekend. This one's late. We should have had this one last week for Labor Day. When police learn it's there's cop cars in the trees. This cop is like barbecuing. Speed limit 100, speed limit 25. Speed limit 100, and the cop's hiding behind the sign. The chopper. Get to the chopper. Get down. Next. Giga-based dad says, me trying to fit in with a group of dads who only want to talk about sports ball instead of becoming warlords. Yep, I don't fit in with the sports ball crowd either. Next. Unmarried Democrat women see the U.S. government. Is that a husband? Is that a husband?
Beta.
Next. Democrats voting for Kamala after losing half of their 401k, spending $180 for a bag of groceries, and getting a 10.5 interest rate on their new car. It made my eyes water. You never go full retard. Never go full retard, right? Next. Liberals living in gated communities telling poor people it's their imagination that Venezuelan gangs are taking over apartment complexes. Dang. Like I said, I haven't covered the Venezuelan Chicago apartment complex takeover yet. And it's like been weeks in the making, and I still haven't covered it. So we'll talk about it. We'll look into it in the after party after I cut this mop off my head. What you see on your lawn? What you see on your lawn? Trump, keep America great. What I see on your lawn? Racist lives here. And the guy said, "Where can I buy the bottom sign?" Exactly, bro. Bro, I would love to have this sign. That would be so funny. I want that sign. I want that sign. That's a cool sign. Next. When you're 8 years old and you learn that you're responsible for slavery, the Holocaust, the Crusades, and the colonization of Africa. Poor kids. Not me. When I found that out, I started dancing. Throw me in the jungle. I'll come out that piece with a mink coat. Man, throw me in the jungle. I'll have them bitches dancing. Next. Here's Karl Marx. He's saying, "Are you saying you value your property more than our needs?" Bro, I don't even know you. I value my breakfast more than you.
It's a man, baby.
Next. Her, I bet he's thinking about other women. Him, he flew a drone. He had a rangefinder. He was jumping across rooftops in broad daylight. Then the FBI cremated the body and didn't tell the coroner. And ... Dang. Dang. Nope, he's not thinking about other women. No time for that. Next. Democrat influencers online versus in real life. Online, real life. Online, real life. That's so true. Guys, don't fall for the profile pics. Stop simping for profile pics. That's not what they look like. And this doesn't apply to the beautiful ladies in my chat. Rome, Sal, Amanda. You know, this only applies to every other woman on the internet. They do not look like what they look like in their picture. It's a lie. Next. I love this. Democrats leaving the polls on election day. I voted. Yeah. And the funny thing is, she's not even alive. She's not even currently living. And she voted 37 times. Next. Wait, what's chat saying? Crowns in the chat for the beautiful ladies of the chat. Someone used a filter. I'm sure I've seen the pics my coworkers post and they catfish. Yeah, they're catfishing MFers like a mug. She been dead. Next. This is so funny. In an attempt to appeal to the black vote, I can't even read this. I can't even read this. Oh, man. In an attempt to appeal to the black vote, Kamala promised to launch a study to figure out why the ceiling bird sings. Why does the ceiling bird sing? This thing is constantly chirping me. Next. Antifa says, rural America, we are coming. Grandma says, y'all hurry up. I got a pie in the oven. Next. Is Kamala. Robbie, you'll like this one. Kamala is kneeling down at the mailbox. It says, help me, U.S. Mail Kenobi. You're my only hope. Robbie, you're a mailman. I'm going to need you to I'm going to need you to actively monitor the mailboxes this year, okay? You're going to need, you have an extra job this year. You need to actively be monitoring all of the mailboxes. We don't need ballot harvesting dumps. We don't need no damn 5,000 mules this year, okay? Can you help us out with that one? Next, Kamala's black family. Next. This is awesome. Look at the size of my new TV compared to my dishwasher. My new TV is so much bigger than my dishwasher. Look how big my TV is compared to my dishwasher. Next, the most powerful governments in the world can't solve homelessness, but they can change the Earth's temperature if you pay more taxes.
Merry Christmas, Happy Schwanza, Happy Hanukkah.
Oh, I should have played this. I should have played that on the Pelosi one. I forgot. Next, if Shits and Giggles was a photo, it's Amber Turd and Kamala. That's an Amber Turd, as Jamie would say.
Beta.
Jamie's not beta. These two are beta. These two are beta. If Shits and Giggles was a photo. Funny? No? Nobody's laughing? Okay. Go away, crickets. Next, silly putty implies the existence of serious putty. I believe that is called C4. I actually think I did this one before. I try to never repeat a meme. But I feel like I may have done this one before. We've been doing this for like 3 years, so eventually we're going to get repeat memes. Sorry if we've seen this one before. Next. We used to be in a proper country. Okay, Grandma, that's hate speech. Let's get you to the gas chamber. Damn, Grandma. You gonna gas Grandma? Next. Time, DEI edition, best of summer 2024. Ray gun is awesome. Next. Yeah, well, my memes and posts are being fact-checked by men that think that they can breastfeed. Yeah, sounds about right. Next. The Black Panders. It's the Black Panda party. Our dishwasher is pretty small. 5'3" last I checked. They already got whole train cars packed full from China. The mailbox needs a coat of paint. Robbie, look out. They're coming for you. Rural America have been praying for Antifa to come around. I know. They are. TV ain't broke, though. I got a dip. You have a good thing growing. Keep up the hard work. I look forward to our next debate. Stay safe. All right, later, cleaner. Have a good night. Come back later tonight. Stop by. Check in once we start the after party if you want to see the dreads getting chopped off. The Black Panda party.
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy. Next. I hate old people, man. I was in the war. Congratulations. I'm going to be in the next one, and they have laser beams now. They have freaking satellites with freaking lasers on their freaking heads. Next. Slur. I think you'll find I pronounced it very clearly.
It's a man, baby.
Next. Okay. This one's crazy. Condoms are not biodegradable. 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 If you care about the planet, have unprotected sex. STDs and babies are also not biodegradable. LOL. And then somebody said, babies are absolutely biodegradable. Babies are absolutely biodegradable. Hey, Jordan is 100% right. Babies actually are biodegradable. Just saying. Next. From the street, Jana's party is way more interesting. Anal. Oh no, how'd they get your hot sauce, Jan? I know, they stole my hot sauce. They stole my hot sauce. I don't have a purse, but if I did, I would keep hot sauce in it as well. I guess now men carry purses. It's like a normal thing for men to walk around with purses now. So gay. Next. What becomes easier to pick up the heavier it gets? A woman. Oh shit, I'm out. Women. Women become easier to pick up the heavier they get. And that's it for the memes. All right, it's 8:08. We got to hurry up. I won't spend too long talking about my church experience. But we do have a good bit of reels in rapid fire. We're going to really rapid fire these rapid fire news stories. We got rapid fire news. We're just going to burn through them. But first, we got some funny reels. Funny reels. This one's hilarious. This is hilarious. He said, it started playing for a second, but it said, okay, kids, what are some words that end with the letters A-N?
Let's see how many we can get. Go!
Fan!
Fan! There's a good one. Man, that's another one.
Lesbian.
Words that end in A-N. Anyone? Words ending in A-N.
Lesbian.
Pan? Good.
No, Faith said lesbian.
All right, no big deal. Faith said lesbian. Hold on. Good, we'll write that down. Just a word. Not a big deal, but we'll move on. We'll get some other ones.
What is a lesbian, sir?
What's your word? How do you...
What's your word?
Right? If you liked another girl, that could be...
I like Olivia. Am I a lesbian?
like Olivia, you could be, sure.
I like Olivia. I love Olivia. I like Olivia too. Am I a lesbian?
No, it doesn't work that way, Philip. You can never be a lesbian.
Philip! No. Philip, you're not a lesbian. You need to stop that, Philip.
I want to be a lesbian. Me too.
We can all be lesbians.
Oh, it's very quiet.
Let's try words that end in O-N.
Prostitute.
Was it really quiet? Is the video really quiet? Nobody, where's my audio checkers? Is the video super quiet? No, I said, what are some words that end in O-N? And she said, prostitution.
Prostitution.
What did you say?
Prostitution. What is prostitution?
What is prostitution? Let's say prostitution is when you work in the street and you get paid.
I want to do prostitution.
No. All right. Moving on to words that end in R-E, but let me just have a second here to think if nothing, there can't be. So
R-E.
Shout out words that end in R-E.
Crack whore.
And you yell out a word.
Crack whore. I can hear it fine. It's a little quiet. Words that end in R-E. Crack whore. What is a crack whore? It's similar to a prostitution. That's awesome. Next. Oh. Get out of here, baby. This one's pretty funny. He's rolling a blunt. That's Freddie right there.
Nigga, did you know that I can see you? Nigga, you right there.
You know I can see you. Is it gonna show?
2 baskets with boy clothes, and this was one of the shirts in it. I thought it was like McDonald's.
I love it. Look at the shirt. It's legs. The M is a stripper's legs. Is it a basket that said boys' clothes? I thought it was McDonald's.
2 baskets with boy clothes, and this was one of the shirts in it. I thought it was like McDonald's.
Did the teachers stop you or anything?
No. They thought it was McDonald's too. 2 baskets with
I thought it was like McDonald's. Did you talk about the church yet? No, that'll be at the end. We're just gonna burn through these rapid fires. Lit. This is the video I was talking to Daddy Jub about. Shit, I keep showing. I want people to see. It keeps popping up Bibby's messages to me. Sorry, I just doxed your name, Bibby. If anybody rewinds and pauses it, they're gonna know your name. Sorry. This is all the Drake songs that have a little bit suspect themes in them.
Fill the room up with some teens. Wait. And my friends, yeah, I keep my friends on my mind. I'm in love with 2 girls at one time, and they 10. Hold on, Drake. What do you mean?
10?
Hey, pop that shit. Pop that shit. Baby, that pussy was so worth the wait. Drake, what do you mean by that? I understand. You got 100 bands. You got a baby band. You got some bad friends. High school pics. You was even bad then. Wait,
whoa.
No.
Whoa, high school.
And like guns with the ink in, you're getting under my skin. Pretty little young thing. Ooh, no. This shit feel like teenage fever. Nope, Drake, no. We could've waited, I wasn't rushing. Difference in ages, you're old enough, but you're still a baby. No. I'm standing at the top, that's how I know you never see the top. Sierra Canyon parking lot, looking like Magic City parking lot. Nope, that's just wrong. What did I do to deserve you? Don't even know what I did. Been praying on this since a kid. No, Drake, no. I touched down in 86. Knew I was a man by the age 6. I even fucked the girl I used to babysit. Wait, what? We about to get lit. Fill the room up with some teens. Wait. Am I?
Okay. All right. This is kind of messed up to laugh at this, but it is kind of funny.
Play because he's doing all of this blind.
You know how I can't see, and a lot of people think that a blind person can't play football.
But this courageous youngster has proven those people wrong. It's that.
Oh no, that's so horrible. I feel bad for laughing at it, but it is funny. Bro. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's get through rapid fire real quick. What do we got? From Fox 13. I have a lot from Fox 13 Tampa Bay because for some reason they're putting stuff on my Facebook again now so I can grab. I would follow Fox 13 Tampa Bay because I'm from Tampa. But for a long time, they weren't giving me articles. But now they're giving me articles again. They always have some interesting news. So we're going to start off with strange deaths. Strange deaths. It's been a long time since we saw the strange deaths. Could this have anything to do with... I don't know. You know what I mean? It's a little China action. A little bit of Fluhan. A little bit of Vaseline action. Remember, we used to do these every week. We'd go through a long list of odd deaths. Well, we got a couple. We got a couple of them from Panama City, Florida. Florida high school football player at 18 dies after collapsing during a game. Healthy 18-year-old boy dies randomly after collapsing on a football field. Florida Panhandle high school football player has died after collapsing during a game. 18-year-old senior rushed to the hospital but died. Cause of death? Florida's game was canceled. The National Federation of State High School Associations said last week that 6 high school players had died within the past month. 4 of them from heart issues and 2 from being hit. That's interesting. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? Next, we have more. U.S. Air Force Academy cadet, 19 years old, found dead in dorm room. And it was a 19-year-old woman, cadet 4th class Case Avery Kuntz, 19 years old, of Taylor, Texas, was found unconscious in her dormitory on Wednesday night. And attempted life-saving measures by first responders were unsuccessful. The Academy said in a statement, Kuntz was set to graduate in 2028 and was a member of the women's track and field team. Healthy young girl, 19 years old, in the military, found dead in her room. Cause of death? Not listed. No cause of death in the article. Let's see. Maybe no cause of death listed. That's strange. Didn't they make the military people do a certain thing that could lead to increased chance of cardiac arrest and blood clots? I don't know. It's a mystery. Next, that was also from Fox 13 Tampa Bay. And now this is from alive.com. R.I.P. Rich Homie Quan. I'm not a fan. Rich Homie Quan died at the age of 33 in a hospital in his hometown of Atlanta. Autopsy was performed, but his cause of death won't be given until further tests are completed. Now, I'm sure if he was shot or if it was a drug overdose, they would tell us right away. Maybe not. Maybe it's a drug overdose. Records show the residence is connected to the rapper whose real name is DeQuantes Devontae Lamar. That is the blackest name I've ever heard. DeQuantes Devontae Lamar is Rich Homie Quan. I guess Quan comes from Quantes. DeQuantes Devontae Lamar. We learned that first responders were called to the home after the man was found unconscious on the couch by his girlfriend. No cause of death given yet. 33 years old. Rich. Could afford probably, healthy food and took, I don't know. But he wasn't shot. That's odd. So that's it for the strange death. Let's move on to KTLA 5. There's wildfires going on in LA. And teens were arrested in a fireworks-caused burn that burned several Southern California homes. If you want to see a picture of a burnt-down house, I think they arrested 4 teens. What's the article say? In Riverside, July 21st, more than 1,500 people were evacuated, destroyed several homes. And I think they arrested 3 teenagers for lighting fireworks in a field nearby. Are fireworks illegal in California? I guess so. Otherwise, they wouldn't be charged. She killed him? That could be possible too, producer. But I'm kind of insinuating something different. But you could be right about that. It's just, we talked about this a lot a couple years ago. We used to do the strange deaths every week. There were a lot of celebrities and young people strangely dying with no cause of death given, or the cause of death was often cardiac arrest. California is on fire again. Say it ain't so. Well, this is from July, but actually there are currently wildfires in California and Colorado, I think. I don't have that story, but anyway, my point for putting this article in here was to say I don't think it was the kids with fireworks. I think it was the satellites with freaking lasers on their freaking heads. It's freaking laser fires. I told you they're going to start burning down cities with laser satellites. Next. I've been telling you, be ready for it. Okay? It ain't a joke. They got laser satellites collecting solar energy, beaming it down to Earth. Just saying. Not the first time California got lit on fire by a laser. Hawaii. Canada. Old story. Kids pranked a grandma, but dynamite sticks in her red candle box. Grandma could see good and the house blew. What? Kids put dynamite sticks in a candle box and a grandma lit them? Yeah, get a blue roof. Right. Paint your roof blue. No, my joke is you need a school desk. A desk from when you were in school, painted blue, and it'll protect you from shootings, it'll protect you from nukes, and it'll protect you from lasers. Because all you got to do, earthquakes, tornadoes, shootings, nuclear war, and if it's painted blue, it'll protect you from lasers. Because all you got to do is hide under the desk. That's what they tell you in school. Just get under your desk. You'll be all right. So everybody should have a school desk in their house if they want to be safe in 2024. Next. Let's watch this.
Hugh walked out of.
This is the Chinese spy. Another Chinese spy. Swalwell had his own spy. Kathy Hochul in New York. Ex-top aide. A top aide to Kathy Hochul was a secret Chinese agent. We talked about this a little bit in the after party last week. Let's look at Linda Chin, or what's her name? What's her name? Chris Hu. Linda Sun and Chris Hu. Chinese spies in the New York government. Shocker. Maybe that's why they were putting young people in the nursing homes with old people during the China virus.
Federal court on Tuesday released on bail. A 40-year-old U.S. citizen son pleaded not guilty to taking millions in payments and gifts from Chinese officials in exchange for influencing the highest levels of New York state government for years. Her husband pleading not guilty to money laundering. Governor Kathy Hochul's office says son was hired a decade ago and fired in March of last year amid allegations of misconduct.
I'm furious and I'm outraged and absolutely shocked. The second we discovered some levels of misconduct, we fired her. We alerted the authorities.
In a 65-page indictment, prosecutors allege Sun blocked Taiwanese officials from having access to the governor's office, drafted unauthorized invitation letters to fraudulently get visas for Chinese officials, and changed messaging regarding issues of importance to China.
She looks so nice. She's a dang honeypot. She's honeypotting us.
Kickbacks went to her husband's businesses, prosecutors say, to fund a lavish lifestyle. Multi-million-dollar homes in Long
Oh, yeah, they knew she was a spy. I wonder how long she was in there. I wonder if she was in there during the coup.
Island and Hawaii. Cash and luxury cars, including a 2024 Ferrari Roma, like this one.
That's a sick-looking car, though.
Priced over.
I like that color, that dark green. $260K. That's a cheap Ferrari, though, right? Aren't there like $1 million Ferraris?
200.
That's inflation. Probably it was a $100,000 car under Trump.
$60,000.
She does
the
look
government
nice.
says it will seize all of it.
She does look nice. She's a dang honeypot. What's Chinese honey? What would you call honey in China? How do you say? How do you say honey in Chinese? What was that sound? How do you say honey in Chinese?
Hey, Giddy, how are you? Well, it's bacon. All right. And in English, actually, sometimes we call our boyfriend or girlfriend honey, right? And in Chinese, actually, we have three phrases you can use.
Just give me one.
Meaning. The first one is 亲爱的.
亲爱的 pot. She's a 亲爱的 pot. A 亲爱的 pot.
Including more than $130,000 in a safety deposit box. The couple and their family also received expensive gifts, travel expenses paid, and tickets to shows, according to the indictment. And on multiple occasions, specialty salted ducks prepared.
Oh my God, you know it's a problem if your dang Chinese spy is bringing you salted duck. What the fuck? Salted duck? What the fuck? She got a salted duck. Coming in here treating our government like a cuck. Trying to make a buck. Get me a Ferrari. She ain't sorry. She's a Chinida pot. Chinida pot. She denied a lot.
Prepared by a Chinese official's personal chef. The DOJ calling Sun's actions a direct threat to national security.
The way Americans think about...
They love MSG over there. You'd eat all that salted duck and you'd be hungry 40 minutes later. Then you need another salted duck.
National security is being corrupted by foreign adversaries
love you long time.
who want to tell us how to think and how to act. And that is a national security threat.
These charges are disappointing.
Outside of court, Sun's attorney defending his client.
We are looking forward to exercising our right to a speedy trial and addressing these accusations in the forum where it's most appropriate, which is a court of law.
Linda Sun and her husband.
Damn, that's ugly. Get out of here. Sorry. I'm just kidding. That's not nice. How China used a mid-level government aid in New York to influence politics. We talked about it last week. Just wanted to watch that video. Let's get through these. Why are so many restaurant chains filing for bankruptcy this year? I'm going to say because of Joe Biden, because of the coup. This year has not even reached its fourth quarter, and bankruptcies among restaurant chains operating companies and large franchises are already nearly double what they were in 2023. Red Lobster, seafood restaurant, Red Lobster, filed for bankruptcy last month. Dang. They had some good biscuits too. I remember I got straight A's one time. If I got straight A's, I could go to dinner wherever I want and get whatever I want. And I went to Red Lobster and I got the seafood feast or whatever. It's just like $30, which was a lot of money when I was a kid, before all the Biden inflation. $30, that's an expensive meal. And it had lobster, like 3 different kinds of shrimp, crab, dang old biscuits, everything. It was a dang feast. It was good. It was good. I basically just picked the most expensive thing on the menu. Okay, next. That's what I did when I was down in Florida on my birthday. We went out to dinner and my brother was paying. Ben was paying. And so I was like, "You're paying? Okay, I'm getting a steak and lobster." He's like, "Are you serious?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm going to get the most expensive thing on the menu. What are you talking about?" Are you going to change the name of your show to Bald Clan? I'm not in the clan. Clean shaven conservative? No. Jeez, Louise. It's still the dreaded conservative. I'm still dreaded. I'm still going to be dreaded. Okay? It's not getting anything. It's not like I'm going to cut my hair and all of a sudden I'm going to be the nice, friendly conservative. I'm still the dreaded conservative. I just don't have dreadlocks. It's no longer a double entendre. It just means dreaded. Feared. The feared conservative. It's not going to be the friendly, buddy old pal conservative. Mick Lobster. I know. When is McDonald's going to get some lobster on the menu? They got fish. The wretched conservative. Smells like fish, make it a dish. Smells like cologne, leave it alone. Also from Fox 13 News, Australian breaker ray gun apologizes. People didn't understand. First off, that's not an apology. You can't blame all of the world. You can't blame the whole world and say they didn't understand your art when you suck at breakdancing and you're at the Olympics. It's not our fault. We completely understood that you suck at breakdancing. People didn't understand. Australian breaker Rachel Gunn addressed her controversial performance at the Paris Olympics. Gunn shared her experience in a television interview with Australian media outlet. Did a routine. What'd she say? People didn't understand breaking and were just angry about my performance. That's not an apology. That's not a freaking apology. The conspiracy theories were just awful. Quote, the conspiracy theories were just awful, and that was really upsetting. People are now attacking our reputation and our integrity. None of them were grounded in facts. That's not a freaking apology at all. This headline is deceiving. She did not apologize. She blamed the viewers, she blamed the whole world. That was not breakdancing. That was not art. You suck. You just suck at breakdancing. But I'm grateful for you, Ray Gunn. Thank you, because you gave us memes for the next century. These are never going to end. It was better than Hawk Tuah by far. Way funnier than Hawk Tuah was gay. Like, I don't even know why that chick made $1 million. You know that Hawk Tuah chick made like $1 million in a month? It pisses me off because I'm out here grinding, you know? I work nights. You know, probably like 45 hours a week, nights, working all night. You know, it's tough going to church when you work from 10 to 7 and then church starts at 8:30 and you have to stand up the whole time. And I've been on my feet all night, lifting stuff, heavy stuff, up and down, lifting and moving all night. And then I go to church and I stand up. And here I am making $2,000 a month. And then this chick says something stupid when she's drunk and makes $1 million in a month. It's ridiculous. Pissing me off. But anyway, the point is, Ray Gun is a way better meme than Hawk Tuah. Hawk Tuah was lame. Like, I didn't even think she was that interesting. Like, I didn't even think it was that. None of the memes were even that funny. Like, you know, like, porn stars were doing that 50 years ago. The Hawk Tuah, you know, the old Gluck Gluck has been around forever. That's nothing new. But Ray Gun, now, she's an inspiration to meme makers around the world. A little bit of weather from Axios. Tropical storm Francine forms in the Gulf of Mexico to hit Louisiana. Oh, snap. As a hurricane. You know Louisiana has PTSD from hurricanes. Like, Florida, a hurricane's coming. They're like, all right, get the grill. Get the grill going. We're going to barbecue. Kids don't have school. We don't have work. Power's out. We're barbecuing. We got to cook this meat up because it's going to go bad in the fridge because the power's out. That's what they do in Florida. Louisiana, here's a hurricane coming. Oh, no. They're all pooping their pants right now. They are afraid. Tropical storm Francine formed in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico on Monday morning and is intensifying as it moves towards a likely landfall in central Louisiana as a Category 2 hurricane. Is this the first Category 2 making landfall this hurricane season? It might be, because I always report on the hurricanes. Hurricanes are just cool to me, being from Florida and whatnot. I don't think we've had any Category 2s make landfall yet. So this may be the first. Hopefully they fortified those, what are they called? The seawall or whatever. Hopefully they fortified those since Katrina. It's been a while. Been a while since I've gone and my seawall broke from a hurricane. It's been a while, but I can still remember just the way it rained. Yeah, this year. This year is the first one. I want to do the beatboxing. I want to make a t-shirt that has a picture of a llama and the words Haktua. You might get rich. I'm going to report on it. Probably try to go outside and record. You're going to report on it? You have a stream? You do? How are you going to report on it? You going to come on my show and report on it? Are you in Louisiana? That'd be cool. Record some video and send them to me, and you can come on the show and talk about it. I'll post up by the bridge looking at the city. I don't know if I would hang out on a bridge during a hurricane, Matthew. I don't know if that's a good idea. But then again, might be a safest place if flooding happens. Because you're already on a bridge, you know. All right, last story. I got 3 articles on this. This actually could have made it into main story news because it kind of goes with the Georgia shooting. But I don't have a lot of time, so we're probably going to go a little bit past 9. I know you guys want to get to the after party. I don't. I want to keep delaying. I just want to keep doing this show and never go to the after party. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm gonna do this. Oh, I can't believe I'm gonna do this. It's getting close. I'm starting to freak out. Manhunt underway after 5 people. Also, I don't know if there's any updates on this. Kentucky shooting near Interstate 75. 5 people injured. I don't think anybody died. A manhunt is underway for a suspect after 5 people were injured in a shooting Saturday near an interstate and rural area of Laurel County, Kentucky, located south of Lexington. I have an article here that says that police found the suspect's car. Oh, they're not going to let me read it? Close. Oh, yeah, they will let me read it. This is from the Lexington Herald Leader. Police find suspect's car and an AR-15 after I-75 shooting in Kentucky. The manhunt continues. So they found his car, they found the gun, but they have not found the suspect yet. Let's watch this video.
Hold it.
There's an ad. Let's let the ad play. While the ad plays, I'll read this other article from WYMT Mountain News, CBS. Laurel County Sheriff John Root reported that deputies were dispatched to a gunshot victim call at I-75 at exit 49, approximately 8 miles north of London. What was he, just standing on the side of the interstate blasting at people? 5 victims were seriously injured and transported to local hospitals. Other departments, along with special response teams, secured the team. I-75 was closed for several hours. Officials have identified Joseph A. Couch, 32, of Woodbine. Joseph Couch as a person of interest in the case. Hake was talking about Joseph Couch this morning, and I didn't know who he was. Joseph Couch, Joe Couch, F.O. Couch. Coach is considered armed and dangerous and should not be approached. The scene is, well, he left his gun, so the scene is being contained and investigated. They have a picture of him here. I'll show you the picture of him. Laurel County Sheriff John Root is reporting that Laurel County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched. Cedar gunshot victim on I-75, approximately 8 miles north of London. Deputies found 9 vehicles had been shot into, both north and southbound. So he was just standing on the side of the interstate, just shooting at vehicles? That's crazy. Let's let this ad play and we'll watch this news report, and that will be the end of the rapid fire news. And then I'll talk about what I thought of the church service, of the Divine Liturgy. And I'll show you a video of what it looks like.
That several people have been shot. This appears to have taken place near the highway, Interstate 75 in Laurel County, Kentucky. This is right near London. That's according to the Laurel County Sheriff's Office. They wrote that the I-75 for now is closed at mile marker exit 49, 9 miles north of London due to an active shooter situation. This is what the Sheriff's Office has said in a post
Sorry, I'm
on
trying to fix
Facebook
this.
just a little while ago. They also wrote that numerous persons have been shot near I-75. We also just have a post on X from Governor Andy Beshear. He wrote, Kentucky, we are aware of a shooting on I-75 in Laurel County.
All right, this doesn't have any like video or anything like that, but yeah, that's crazy. So I'm gonna check Google real quick to see if the manhunt has ended, because I have not looked at any news for the day, and we're gonna check breaking news. Breaking news. Trump signals support for reclassing pot as a less dangerous drug in line with Harris' position. I'm not a fan of that. He's just doing that to get some libertarian votes, though. Lightning could worsen line fire east of LA. So there is a fire in LA. It's not related to the fire we reported on earlier, because that happened in July. That was just some teens who lit fireworks. But there is a fire in LA right now. We got the hurricane. Republicans threaten a government shutdown unless Congress. Another government shutdown. Airport fire breaks down in Orange County's Trabuco Canyon. So fires, hurricanes, crazy weather. Either they're playing with the cloud machine, either Bill Gates is playing with the God machine, or the apocalypse is near. This is talked about in Revelation. This is talked about in Matthew 24. The end is nigh. The end is nigh. I'm just kidding, guys. Don't worry about it. We're not supposed to fear those things. That's how you get an apocalyptic cult going. We have a cult here, but it's not an apocalyptic cult. You know, we're not afraid of the apocalypse. We're not going to drink the Kool-Aid, guys. We don't even allow Actually, that's not true. I love Kool-Aid. I'm half black, so I definitely like Kool-Aid, but not poison Kool-Aid. Okay. Last little segment of the show here. My first time attending an Orthodox church. This is my first time going to church in, I think, like 7 years. Last time I went to church was when I was homeless on Easter. A bus came to the homeless shelter, and they picked up people to go to church, and then they were doing a big feast afterwards, so it was free food. So a bunch of the homeless people got on the bus, and we went to this big church. It was almost like a mega church here in Salt Lake. It was not a Mormon church. I think it was non-denominational. I don't remember what denomination it was, but it was a big church, and it was a singy church, more used to what I grew up going to. But that was like 7 or 8 years ago. And this past Sunday, I've been saying I would do it, and I did it. I visited an Orthodox church. And it was different. Kind of strange, but I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. So we're going to talk about that. An Antiochial, how do you say it? Antiochial Orthodox. I went to Orthos. It said on the website you don't have to come to all of what they call Orthos or Matins, which is like the service before the service, and it's just like people take turns getting up and reading, and you can kind of come in and you can walk around, and so let's start from the outside of the church, and we'll work our way inside. Outside of the building, it's in downtown. It's right by the 7-Eleven downtown by where I go to the gym. And that area is overrun with homeless people. Like outside, the church is a nice, it's an old building. It's very unique. It stands out. And it's kind of a traditional Orthodox church. They have these 2 domes on the top with crosses on them. And I love seeing that because there's so many Mormon churches out here. You see the freaking Moroni blowing the trumpet, and Mormons are like against the cross. They don't believe in the cross. And the Father Paul is his name. He actually talked about this in his sermon. I don't know if it's called a sermon, but he talked about I'll tell you what he talked about in a second. But yeah, they have the domes, the crosses on the roof, And when you go inside and you go into the room, it's like you're in a whole new world. The ambiance is different. They have what's called icons. So there's like these pedestals with these images. There's Saint Nicholas. There's all the saints are on these podium type things throughout the area, and it's a small room. It's not. I've never been to any church service like this. It was very different than anything I've been to. Small room, no pews. There's no pews. There's like benches on the sidewalls for older people and children to sit on, and you can sit down if you want. The website said, but I'm a man. I don't have to sit down. I can stand up, even though my back and my legs were hurting from working all night. But you stand. You just stand in the middle of the room, and there's candles, and people come to the orthos and they light the candles, and they do the sign of the cross, and then they kiss the icons. And then all on the walls, there's saints on all the walls. And then at the front, there's like, it's not like what you see at a Protestant church where there's a stage and there's a band and there's choir seats. And the baptismal is behind where the pulpit. The baptismal is like out in the room with the people. And the stage is actually behind a wall, and there's 3 doors, and the doors represent, I don't know what everything represents yet. This is only my first time, but when they're going in and out of certain doors, that means something. Like deacons come out of one door, they come out of another door. The father comes out of another door. Very decorative clothing that they wear, like tunic. I don't know what they call it, like tunics or whatever. Very decorative, and everything is like on a schedule. So every Orthodox church around the world, they have like a scripted regimen schedule that this Sunday we're talking about this, we're doing this. This Sunday we're doing this, and any church you go to in the world, that's what they're doing. Almost exactly the same for the most part. I was looking at pictures of other Orthodox churches. Even the interior of all of them looks very similar. And anyway, so you go to the orthos, and they said you don't have to come for the whole hour of that, but that's when people are starting to filter in. So I was there for like 30 minutes of that. I got there like 30 minutes before the Divine Liturgy. And then it starts. One thing, well, so first off, the first reaction is the standing. That was different than anything I've ever seen. And the reasoning for that is they say that worshiping God is work. You have to put in work to worship God. It's not, and I don't know, I kind of agree with that. But at the same time, I kind of disagree with it. Like, it seems like work is something you don't want to do, but you have to because you get paid, which I guess makes sense. But I want to worship God. I don't want to go to work, but I have to get paid. I do want to worship God, and you do get paid for it in a way. I'm not doing prosperity gospel. I'm saying you get paid in your blessings. You get paid, spiritually paid for doing it. And so it's just an interesting thing that you stand the whole time. But I don't have a problem with that or anything. I really don't. I don't have anything I say. If you're like an ortho guy, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying it's different. I'm not used to it. I have to learn. The strangest thing to me was that the whole service is like sang, but there's a choir, but they're out in the audience with the people, but it's not like singing like what you see at a Protestant church with a choir where it's like, I'm gonna praise you, Jesus, today. Hey, Jesus, I love you, Jesus. Raise your holy hands now and wave them back and forth and side to side. It's not like that. It's not a rock and roll church. There's not a band. There's not a guitar player and a drummer. but the whole service almost is sang. But they call it chanting because it's not really like melodic singing. It's more like Jesus come and we worship the Holy Trinity. I'm not trying to make fun of it. I'm trying to actually tell you what it sounded like. It's gonna sound funny, but I'm not trying to be insulting. But it's like Mary the what is it called? Theotokos. Theotokos is Mary. Mary the Theotokos, Jesus the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. And it's like they call it chanting. It's very monotone, slight rises and like Mary the Father and Son, Jesus and the Holy Spirit. And every time it's very, very Trinity based. That's like one of the most important thing. When I looked into how you become an Orthodox catechumen, the first line is you believe in the Trinity, which is tough for me because I've been kind of, convinced away from the Trinity. I was baptized Baptist. I've been to Baptist churches, Methodist churches, Presbyterian churches. I've been to Catholic churches. And I was raised on the Trinity. I always believed the Trinity. And then I fell away, became homeless, did drugs, commit crimes, went to jail. All the while, though, I never lost my faith in God. I just kind of fell away from the faith. Even when I was in jail, I was a jailhouse preacher. I got my credentials in jail, my Bible certification, Bible teacher certification, or whatever. I did a concordance class where you mail in back and forth, and you go through. I'm certified on all the books of the New Testament, Psalms, Proverbs, and Genesis. I didn't completely complete the Old Testament because I was only in jail for a year, and I didn't. They said it would take you 4 years to do the whole Bible, and I did Genesis, Proverbs, Psalms, and all of the New Testament in like 6 months. And I didn't miss there's a 100-question test at the end of each segment, and I never missed a single question. It's an open book test. You shouldn't miss any questions, but a lot of people do. But anyway, the point is, I never lost my faith. But then when I came back, when I was a homeless drug addict, and I came back to God, and I, basically cried out and said, God help me. I'm going to be dead if I don't change my ways. And I came back to God. Then I found JLP. And JLP was the first time that I heard that some people don't believe in the Trinity. They believe that Jesus is the Son of God, but not God. And then after looking into it and digging into it, all my life, the Trinity confused me. It didn't make sense to me. It seemed illogical, the non-contradiction, the law of identity. One thing cannot be another thing, and it can't be two different things can't be the same thing at the same time. So how is the Father and the Son? And so that's where you get into the hypostasis and the and hypostatic union and all that stuff. Hypostasis is the study of persons, and then ontology is the study of being or of being. So multiple hypostases within one ontology always was confusing to me. Not that I understood their argument, but it just seemed illogical. And then I come to find out about the Unitarian Church. I come to find out about oneness doctrine. I come to find out that there are large swaths of Christianity that don't believe in the Trinity. And to me, that made more sense. But then I get on the internet, I start doing my stream, I come to find out that that's like the worst heresy you could possibly do, and people hate me for it. Now, I'm not saying my mind's been changed yet. My mind was changed to not believing in the Trinity, but I don't feel like my heart has ever changed. I still believe that Christ was uncreated. From the beginning of time, he was with the Father. In Genesis, Jesus is with God. But it's just tough for me. I imagine Jesus at the right hand of God. I imagine three thrones. Well, I don't know if it says that there's a throne for the Holy Spirit, but I imagine God and Jesus. So it made more sense logically to me that it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and that they're not all one thing. But people hated me for that and talk crap about me, and they brush me off. They say, "Oh, he's not a Christian," which I don't think they're right for that. I think that they're being judgy. It's funny, the people that say they don't make Savitical claims will quickly call somebody a heretic. That's a Savitical claim. If you say somebody is a heretic for their beliefs, aren't you condemning them to hell? Isn't that unrighteous judgment? I don't know. But anyway, the point is the Orthodox Church is very Trinity centered. And so throughout the service, they probably mentioned the Trinity a couple hundred times, at least 100 times. And it's in all the chants that they do. And everybody does the sign of the cross. I grew up Protestant, so I had never done the sign of the cross. So I'm watching and I'm like, should I do this? I didn't. I did it once. Towards the very end, I did it just to basically see how it felt. But I was like, oh, I don't want to do it wrong. Like it's up. Does it matter if I do it with my left hand or my right hand? Does it matter which way you go first? Is it up, down? What I saw was up, down, right, left with your right hand. Up, down, right, left with your right hand is what I saw everybody doing. But I was like kind of nervous to do it because I've never done it, the sign of the cross. And I was like, what if I do it with the wrong hand? Or what if I go left, right? Is that wrong? I don't know. So there's still a lot of things I need to learn. But yeah, it's very Trinity based, and I would feel like I was being disingenuous if I just went along with that because I was at the Orthodox Church. Like I need to be convinced. I was convinced out of the Trinity. Now I need to be convinced back into it. And I just haven't heard a satisfactory argument yet. And so that's a tough one for me. The fact that the most important thing in the church is something that I've kind of changed my mind about. But I still agree with that. I still believe Jesus is the only way. The Son is the only way to the Father. I believe what the Bible says. They would say is sola scriptura. But I'm not I don't even consider myself a Protestant. I don't even consider myself non-denominational because a non-denominational is now a denomination. There's a non-denominational church. They have a website. They accept donations. I'm not part of that church. I'm not part of a Unitarian church. I think the Unitarian church is whack. All the Unitarian churches I've seen have like LGBTQ pastors and rainbow flags out front. I'm not with that. Oneness doctrine, I've looked into that. I don't know what I am. I'm a homeless Christian, and it's tough because I don't feel like I fit into any of these categories. There's doctrines and things that I agree with and disagree with all of them. And so the sign of the cross was different. All of the Trinity focused stuff it kind of made me feel like I shouldn't be there, but I want to be there. I liked it. I liked it, and I want to keep going. So that's one thing. Hold on one second. How were you convinced out of it? Basically the Bible, and just I found out that it was a thing that some people don't believe in the Trinity. And then it like clicked. It was like, man, all my life, when I was a kid, I went to Christian school. and they would teach us the Trinity, the Trinity, the Trinity, and it was always confusing to me because I was like, this doesn't make sense. And then when I read the Bible and I see Jesus denies being God, Jesus himself said, "Why do you call me God? Or why do you call me good? No man is good, only God is good." When they were going to stone him, they said, "You're calling yourself God." He said, "I'm not calling myself God." He said, "Doesn't the Old Testament say we are all gods? And if I follow God, that doesn't make me God." Like, now I've heard arguments for what he was saying in that verse, but the arguments that I've heard for the Trinity about that verse, I think it's John 10. Like, are you saying that Jesus was lying when he said he was not God because he was afraid of being crucified? Jesus wasn't afraid. Who was Jesus praying to? He's praying to his Father. Like, so it's tough for me when I read the Bible. I don't see the Trinity. There are some. I've been reading Isaiah, and I said the other day, and I think it was Isaiah. I forget the verse, but in Isaiah, it says they will call him Father. Talking about Jesus. When Jesus comes, they'll call him Father. But then it also says the Son of Man, and it delineates the Son of Man from the Father, as if they're not the same thing. And I don't know, Stepfire. There's all sorts of arguments against the Trinity, and I just felt like they were more valid and more logical arguments than for the Trinity. So, but for a while I was going hard like against the Trinity. Now I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be against the Trinity, and I would like to be convinced of it, but I'm not yet. So, if people want to call me a heretic and all that stuff, then that's their problem. I don't really care. But if you have a different experience than everyone else, it's okay. I thought this it's three persons in one being. So it's hypostatic union between the hypostasis, or the persons, three persons united in one ontology, one being. So anyway, that was one big thing to me when I went there. The other thing, they kiss the icons. So they do the sign of the cross, and then they kiss the icons. Anytime the Trinity is said, they do the sign of the cross. I didn't kiss any of the icons, but I did walk around and observe them all. And, I still have reverence for it. And it's just beautiful. It feels powerful when you're in there. The chanting of the whole thing was odd to me, but I kind of like it. It felt more real, and it felt more traditional than the Protestant. And plus, I'm anti Bethel and Hillsong. A lot of those hymns that they're singing in these Protestant churches are basically like R&B pop songs, but instead of "Hey baby girl, I want to touch you and love you down," instead they change it to "Hey Jesus, I want to touch you and love you down." And it's like, it's very feminine and it's very emotional. This wasn't like that, and that's one thing I liked a lot about it. It was not feminine. Then they did the sermon. I don't know if they call it the sermon. I think they call it something different. But you can sit down during that, and it was wild. Like, everybody just sits down on the floor. We're like Indian style, just sitting on the floor. And it's a very short sermon, but it was powerful. The guy's name was Father Paul. I'm also curious, is his birth name Paul, or when you become a father, do you get a new name? Like, are all the fathers named Peter or Paul at the Orthodox Church, or was he born and given the name Paul by his parents? I was curious about that, but I didn't stick around afterwards because they said afterwards there's coffee downstairs, and that's when you can go down and talk to the father and you can ask questions and stuff. But I was so like, I talked to one guy there, and I was like, he's like, you can come down and ask questions. I was like, honestly, I need to kind of sit on this and think about it because I have so many questions, but I don't even know what questions I want to ask. So I need to go a couple times and get used to it. And then once I'm more comfortable, then I'll start asking questions. Also, I don't want to get in a debate with the father. You know, I want to, and I'm very debate minded. The whole reason I went to the Orthodox Church is from watching internet debaters, from Jim Bob and Jay Dyer, Andrew. I like the way they think. I like the way they debate. They're smart guys. Whenever I hear an Orthodox person speak, they're very intelligent and they debate well. So that's like what led me to the Orthodox Church. Also, I've learned through watching YouTube videos that there's been a huge increase, like a 40% increase over the past year or two to the Orthodox Church, and especially in young men, because I think young men are sick of this feminized Protestant emotional lovey-dovey crap. So they're going to the Orthodox Church. But yeah, there's a lot of men there. And so the sermon, it was a great sermon. You know, one thing also that I like is that they do like an opening prayer. And also when they pray, it's not like in a Protestant church. It's not like everybody bow your head and close your eyes. And then the preacher says a prayer that he's basically just making up on the spot. You know, God, take care of the people, bless us, you know, let's have this and this and this. The prayers are like written, like set prayers that they do. And the opening one was amazing because they pray for the president, they pray for the nation, they pray for the armed forces. And I was like, this is pretty cool. The sermon, he started off talking about how nations are founded on ideas. He said even cities and society, everything is founded on ideas and beliefs. And then it was pretty cool. He took a shot at the Mormons. I was like, let's go. He's like, Utah was founded by the Mormons. And he said, we may disagree with them on a lot of things, but we agree with them on some things. And he talked about how the Mormons don't celebrate the cross. He talked about why the Orthodox Church celebrates the cross and reveres the cross and what it means. And that was pretty cool. It like made me feel good that I have a cross tattooed on my arm. I was like, hey, I got a cross on me, you know. But some churches are against venerating the cross. Is that the word? And he talked about that. And he talked about the nation, the country, what's going on in the world. I really liked the service. There was something else he said that I can't remember now that I liked. Maybe I'll think of it in the after party or something. But so that was cool. I liked that. I liked the little sermon he gave. And then the coolest part, I think, was when we did the Lord's Prayer at the end, because he said, "Okay, now we'll say the Lord's Prayer, English." He said, "English," and then everybody starts saying, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. The kingdom come, thy will be done." Everybody starts saying the Holy Prayer. So I say the Lord's Prayer with them. Then he says, Serbian, and a little group of people over here say the Lord's Prayer in Serbian. Then he says French. This group of people back here says it in French. Spanish. These people over here say it in Spanish. Russian. These people over here say it in Russian. They went through like some languages I had never even heard of. They went through like 10 languages. There were people who spoke like 10 different languages doing the Lord's Prayer one at a time in this little building. And I was like, this is amazing. There's people from all over the world in here. I heard the Lord's Prayer in more languages that languages I didn't even know were languages. And I really liked that. That part was really cool. And it'd be cool to keep going if you go there for a couple years to be able to say the Lord's Prayer in all those languages. I'd like to be able to say it with them in every language. That would be awesome. I liked that a lot. That was cool. That was probably my favorite part was when, and I didn't know that was going to happen. I just thought we're going to say the Lord's Prayer and move on. Next part. But then he says Spanish, French, like Serbian, Portuguese, Spanish. I don't think he did any like Chinese or Japanese, but yeah, that part was really cool. Let me see what chat's saying. Somebody said Paul is a popular name. Paul is a popular. You're right. It is a popular name. The deacon is the man to talk to about the Trinity. Okay. And by the way, what's up, Stepfire? Glad to have you here. That does sound unique. I wouldn't kiss the saints though, or pray to them, or Mary. Everything else seems whatever. Right. Veneration of the saints is another tough one for me too, because in the Protestant, we don't venerate saints. We don't. And actually in the Orthodox Church, they say that the reason that you venerate the saints is because, and this I agree with, they don't believe that we actually die, and I agree with this because we drop our bodies, but if you're saved, as the Protestants would call it, if you're saved, you never actually die. Your body drops, but you still exist. So they believe that when you're in that church, you're actually there with Christ and with all the saints. All those saints on the walls and all the icons are actually in that room with you. Literally is what they believe, not metaphorically. They're there with you. And on the walls behind the they have the cross, they have Jesus on the cross at the front behind the doors. And on the walls going up both sides, they have all these saints looking down at Jesus. And the idea is that those saints are actually in that room with you at the time because they still live. You know, their bodies are dropped, but in spirit, they're still there with you. So I thought that was pretty neat. That's why they venerate the saints. And then, and the whole thing, the liturgy, the whole thing represents Jesus's birth, his life, his crucifixion, and his resurrection. So there's different sections of the thing, and as you go through it, everything that's happening is representing things like that. So at one point, all these kids come out from the back, and they have like these stabs, and they all have like gold robes on, and they come and they walk through, and that represents the birth when Jesus is a child, and then the life of Jesus, and then at the end you do the communion or the Eucharist, and they believe that it's the physical blood, literal physical blood and body of Christ, which is another tough one for me because in Protestant churches, anybody can take communion. It's a little unleavened potato chip, basically, and a little cup of grape juice, and everybody gets it and everybody takes it. And there's really no significance to it. I never felt any way when I took that. At the Orthodox Church, you can't even take the Eucharist unless you're a catechumen, unless you've been baptized, you've gone through the teachings and the trainings and all that stuff. You can't even take the Eucharist. There is what they call antidote, antiteron. I think it's antiteron, which is after they do the Eucharist, and they do it different than the Protestants too. They take a spoon of wine and they like drop the bread into it, so the wine soaks into the bread, and then you walk up, they do the cross, and then you kiss the cross, and then I think you kiss his hand, and then they feed you the Eucharist with a spoon. And which also, I was like, I wonder how they did this during COVID, because everybody's kissing the icons and everybody's eating off the same spoon. Like, I wonder how that worked during COVID. Like, were they allowed to do that? Did Orthodox churches stay open during COVID? I was curious about that. I don't care about germs. I don't even believe in germs, but I'm sure a lot of people were probably nervous about that during COVID. They do the Eucharist. this thing, Seesaw, I thought was cool. When he walks through before the Eucharist, everybody turns. Everybody turns, and there's like a row here and a row here, and he walks down this row, and then he walks down the middle, and like people are like pushing to get to the front so that they can touch his robe as he walks by. And the reason behind that is biblical. It represents when Christ was carrying the cross, there was a woman that came and touched his robe. Like all she wanted to do is just touch a piece of clothing. She didn't even need to. She believed so much that all she wanted to do was just touch a piece of his clothing. And the Father represents Jesus at that time. So people like come forward and they like touch his robe as he walks by. And I was like, that's pretty symbolic, and that I liked that part. The kissing, a little strange to me. I don't, I'm not at that point yet. I don't know of, and there's even like it's the St. Peter and St. Paul Antiochian Orthodox Church, and like the symbol is like Peter and Paul hugging, going in to kiss each other. I was like, but I guess I don't know. I know in other countries and other cultures and stuff around the world, that's not crazy for men to kiss each other. But in America, well, nowadays in America, men kiss each other all the time. But it used to be in America, like men don't kiss each other. But so that was a bit of a culture shock to me. But so then they do the Eucharist, and then it ends. And then you're supposed to go down for coffee, but I was so like kind of overwhelmed and a little confused, and I was exhausted from working all night. So I wasn't going to drink coffee. I was going home and going to bed. I'm not going to drink coffee. And also I'm kind of like antisocial with meeting new people and public things like that. So I just left after. I didn't go down for the fellowship afterwards. Not saying I never will. It's just going to take me some time to warm up to it, kind of get a little more comfortable. But yeah, that was the service. That was my thoughts. I'll show you guys. But the craziest part is this right here, which told me this was like a sign to me that it was meant to be. Check this out. So, the night before I went, crap.
This is the kind of thing that I don't normally do on this channel, but I'm so amped. Cool.
So the night before I went, I decided to do this a couple weeks ago, and then this week I really said I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go this week. So the night before the church service, while I was at work, I was listening to YouTube videos all night about Orthodox Church and what the service is like. So I kind of knew what to expect. And the first video, so I think I typed in the search bar, what to expect in an Orthodox church in YouTube. The first video that popped up, the first video I clicked on said, a Protestant with tons of questions visits a beautiful Orthodox church. So I clicked that video. And this is the video that I'm taken to. Now, this is crazy. Check this out. This is the first video about the Orthodox Church that I clicked on. The first video that YouTube Now, it's probably not as coincidental as I think it is. This was probably recommended to me first because I had been searching for Orthodox churches near me. So YouTube algorithm mixed with Google algorithm probably put this at the top of my feed on purpose. But at the time, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Check this out.
Grander theological concerns and all of the accoutrements and details. I found that in Catholic churches. I found that in higher, fancier Protestant churches. And I've found that in the Orthodox Church, which is where we're going to go this time around. We're headed to Salt Lake City, Utah to St.
You hear that? The first video that I watched about what to expect when you go to a Orthodox church We're heading to Salt Lake City, Utah. You see that church right there? This building right here is the 7-Eleven. My apartment is right over in this area.
Saints Peter and Paul Orthodox Church.
And that's the church that I went to. And this was the first search result for what it's like at an Orthodox church. Crazy.
Where we're going to meet Father Paul Trubenbach.
And that's him. He seems pretty cool. And I watched this whole video. I'm not going to play this whole video for you guys, but I want you to see what it looks like inside.
And get a sense of a specific brand of orthodoxy called Antiochian Orthodoxy, like Antioch in Syria, where the Christians were first called Christians according to the Bible.
Dreads are on borrowed
so I showed
time,
up there.
I know.
I got to look at the outside. The most distinguishing marks that caught my attention here were the domes, the architecture that always gives away a church building as being Orthodox in one form or another.
Did they say you have to act like a pompous douche if you become Orthodox? I'm not going to lie. I wonder if orthos read Enoch. No, they don't. No. Actually, what I wonder, Stepfire, maybe you know, do they have the Catholic canon in their Bible? How many books are in the Orthodox Study Bible? Is it the same as like a King James Bible? Or do they have Maccabees? Do they have Esther? Do they have the like expanded Catholic canon? Or is it just the 66 books in the King James, or however many books are in the King James? 81. Okay, so it's more like a Catholic Bible. That would make sense. That's kind of what I figured. I want to get one of those Orthodox study Bibles. I don't think I've ever read Maccabees. I've read some of the books of David because they're cool. He talks about dragons. I told y'all dragons were real. I'm not playing when I say dragons were real. They're in the Bible. Well, they're in the Catholic and probably the Orthodox. They're in the some of the extra books of David that didn't make it into the King James. Catholic is 77. Orthodox is 81. Oh, wow. Huh. Yeah, I've read some of those books, but I haven't read all of them.
And these cool crosses up here that have a little different design. I picked his brain a bit about that.
So they're being very careful with their camera angles here. What you don't see is that this 7-Eleven right here is a freaking spice den. All the spice heads. This little wall right here is the side of the 7-Eleven, and there's a sidewalk right here. I guarantee you there's about 10 homeless people sitting on that sidewalk smoking spice while they were filming this. And there's also a homeless like resource center a couple buildings down. There's homeless people. Oh, it's very grungy area. It's a very nasty area. Like there's dirty homeless people smoking drugs all around this place, which is kind of sad. But I mean, actually, that's probably the best place to put a church. You know, that's what Jesus would have done.
Then we went inside.
Like, you want to go where and also the Orthodox believe that the church is a hospital for sick people. Spiritually sick people need a hospital, and the church is the hospital. You know, having a church in a rich neighborhood where everybody's taught, you know, it's harder for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to get into heaven. You need to go to where the sick people are, and they are in the area where the sick people are, because this whole area is surrounded by homeless people everywhere.
And there's this cool entryway that I figured we'd just rush right through and get to the nave, which is what people like me typically call a sanctuary. But there's a bunch of art and icons and stuff packed with meaning, even in the lobby. And then we entered into this narthex, and it smells like incense, and the sound is different, and the busy downtown Salt Lake stuff.
So they say they burn incense. I didn't really smell incense, and they take the thing that they shake and they walk around, but isn't that thing usually have incense burning in it? I didn't see smoke coming out of it. And I didn't smell really incense smell, but it had bells in it. It was like jingling as they walked around. I guess that makes sense, though. Bastard son came back to see the king and refused the crown and had his people take the Ark of the Covenant to Ethiopia for the queen. Komodo dragons are real. Well, Komodo dragon is just an adapted freaking dragon. It just, no, I'm kidding. I don't think that's true. That ball thing, yeah, where they walk around with like a ball on a chain and they shake it. Isn't that thing supposed to have incense burning inside of it? And they kind of like burn the smoke. They put the smoke on the people. Anyway, I just want you guys to see what it looked like inside because it's beautiful.
Stuff just sort of fades away. And Father Paul explained that all of that is very intentional to reorient your senses away from what was going on outside to get your brain ready to go inside to this.
Oh, the candles cost money? Well, I don't have a problem with that, but I didn't know that the candles cost money. I didn't take a candle. A lot of people will take the candles and light them. And when I walked in, there was this nice old lady there. The first guy I saw when I walked in, I said, hey, do I go down here or up there? He's like, you come right up here. And he was new too. He said he's only been going for like 3 or 4 months. And he's the guy that I was talking to. His name was John. And after it was over, I was talking to him and he's like, so are you already a believer? And I said, yeah, I've been raised in this, not Orthodoxy, but I've been raised in Christianity my whole life. Been reading and studying the Bible my whole life. He's like, I used to be New Age. You know what New Age is? And I was like, yeah, like vibrations and stuff and energies. And he's like, yeah, I used to go to ayahuasca gatherings and we would do ayahuasca and peyote and DMT. And he's like telling me this in the church. And I was like, dang. And he's like, but then I started coming here and then the devil started attacking me. But the longer I come, the less I feel it. And I was like, let's go. That makes sense. Let's go. That's sick.
Place of communal worship. And then from there, we walked into this glorious, remarkable space that is where most of their worship happens. And we're going to pick it up right there.
This is beautiful. It's amazing.
Look at that. So this is like the doors. And behind this door, when they open it, you see that behind the door, Jesus is on the cross. And then see on the wall, the lanterns are beautiful. All around the walls, there's all these saints. And then there's these like pedestals in the middle of the floor, which they call icons. And it's pictures of the saints. And people walk up and they do the cross and then they kiss it.
Amazing. There's no seating. You just stand up the whole time?
We do, yeah. Orthodox services, we stand almost the entire time. Every now and then we'll kneel. In the scriptures, almost every single case of somebody praying, they're praying in a position of standing. Standing is the position of worship and of prayer.
I've been to a couple of other...
You see behind him? This is the Oniferous guy. We'll look him up afterwards in the after party. I want to look into this guy because all of the saints look like what you typically expect a saint to look like, except for this Oniferous guy. He looked wild. He's like naked. He's got like leaves and he's got a beard to the floor. Oh, wait, that guy looks cool.
Other Orthodox churches that had pews like...
No instruments. No instruments, producer. No instruments. There's a choir, but they don't sing like what you think of when you think of singing. They chant. It's like, and I'm coming to the worship today, and I'm going to pray to Jesus, to the Holy Trinity, Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and Virgin Mary, Theotokos. It's kind of like that. It's not singing like you're used to. It's not dang Bethel and Hillsong.
Like I would see in churches I attend.
Looks
Is
like
there
Adam?
like a pew controversy? Is there a pew crowd and a non-pew crowd?
You can definitely find people who have a preference of one over the other.
Okay.
However, even as pews have become more common, especially in America, because that's just kind of what people expect, but even in some of the countries like Greece, you'll find a lot of chairs and seating.
So see, you do sit down. You sit down on the floor for one part of it, and that's when he does like the sermon. But it's a short sermon. It's only like, I think it was probably like 10 or 15 minutes.
It does create some issues along with the worship. For instance, during Great and Holy Lent, we do a lot of prostrations.
And when and also when this is provided service footage is from a much earlier date. You see how much empty space there is here in the middle? There was no empty space when I was there. like the Orthodox Church is definitely growing very quickly. I watched another video where he talked about it all over the country. It's blowing up fast. There was no empty floor space. Like we were pretty close to each other. Like if you couldn't put your arms out and spin around without hitting somebody. Chanting like Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom reminds me a lot of the Catholic Church. Definitely much better than many Protestant churches. Is Catholic, I think, just another branch of the Catholic following? Well, there's the schism. The Orthodox Church separated from the Catholic Church, but it is closer to Catholicism than it is to Protestant. Oh yeah, during the sermon, he talked about prosperity gospel. He talked about the Mormons, and I was like, I like this. He's kind of roasting the other things, but at the same time, I'm okay with a little jab at the Mormons and a little jab at the prosperity gospel. You could take a big jab at prosperity gospel preachers, but it was out of love, and I liked that part of his sermon. Now I'm going to just show you like some of the icons, or he's going to show you.
Recent saint of the church, very beloved in the church. When I come and I venerate this, what I'll do is I may come and maybe I'll do a bow, I'll do the sign of the cross, and then I'll venerate, which means to kiss. And I'm showing honor and respect. So with the saints of the church, we believe that they can say with St. Paul, it's no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. And maybe even more importantly, for me to live as Christ and to die as gain. And so we believe that this figure, St. Paisios, is standing at the throne of God right now. We believe that he's aware of us. And so when I venerate his icon, although I'm kissing wooden paint, the veneration, the honor and respect that I show the image is passed on to him. And he, in turn, recognizes that and prays for us. Just as I would ask you to pray for me, or you might ask me to pray for you, we ask those who are stand at the throne of God and constantly interceding for the world to pray specifically for us.
That's the veneration of the saints and intercessory prayer, which is something that is not a Protestant thing, and it's something that I kind of struggle with because it's like the Bible says, "Let the dead bury the dead," and that there's no baptism for the dead. Mormons do baptisms for the dead. Paul says, "Why do you baptize for the dead? Let the dead bury the dead." But I don't know. So the veneration of the saints is a tough one for me. And I'm a dirty heretic because I question the Trinity. So, but that's stuff that I'll work on and I'll learn. And I'm not gonna change what I believe just because I go there, just so that I can like get a membership, type thing. I think that would be disingenuous and wrong of me. But my mind is open to being convinced and to being changed. But I'm also not going to change my mind just because people are douchebags that want to call you a heretic and treat you like you're less or like you're scum because you don't have the same doctrine as them. When really, I believe pretty much everything exactly the same. The only difference is I don't use the word Trinity. I don't say that Jesus is God. I say he's the only begotten Son of God, not created, with God for all of eternity, sitting at the right hand of God. The only way to the Father is through the Son. I follow Christ. I worship Christ. I think worshiping Christ is okay. Some people would argue that only God is worthy of worship. So if you worship Christ, you're saying that Christ is God, which that's an interesting argument. That's a good argument. But when I pray, I'm not praying to Jesus. I'm praying to God. So I think of worship as like Lord. A Lord could be a king. A king could be a Lord. You could be a Lord if you buy some property in Ireland. No, I'm kidding. But I don't know. Just stuff I'm thinking about. Anyway, it's almost 10 o'clock. It's almost 10 o'clock. We got to start the after party. We got to get out of here. We got to start the after party. I got to go get some beers. and walk echo. I'll do that as fast as I can, and I'll be back, and we'll start the after party. Guys, we got to hurry up here. You know what time it is. Keep your eye out for the thumbnail. It'll be posted once I get back. We'll be back streaming at like 10:30. We're a little late ending the show. People are silly things, JS. We squabble over everything. Hope you enjoy your church going. It's 10:36. It's 11:37. No, 10:30 my time. I don't live in the same place as you. No. Jesus is eternal. He was always there with God from the beginning. And he was made flesh. Great show, Josh. Good night and God bless you. Can't wait for the after party. Great show. Oh my gosh. I don't want to end this. Threads are on borrowed time. I don't want to end the stream. Oh no. Oh no. I'm so freaked. Oh man. All right. I'll be back in a little bit, guys. God bless. See ya. Hit the like button on your way out. Check in about 30 minutes. And I'll wait till everybody's back before we start hacking away. See ya.